That's where we're going.
Back in your lives, in your ears, and in your face. Welcome to another episode of Papa G's House. Today is one that I've been waiting for some time. I wanted this man in some sort of capacity or another. A guy that has made his way to Germany twice for two separate bands. Something that is really unheard of in this little scene of ours. Adriano Rodrigues from Infanteria, Zombies Ate My Girlfriend, and Burning Turn Records. What's up, my man?
How you, my dude?
Cool, man. Good to have you here. Thanks. I mean, it's a bit of a trek for you to get out here, I'm sure.
You're actually not that bad as far as everyone else goes. Everyone else seems to live on the northern side of the N1. And you're one of the few ones on this side. So
okay, excellent, man.
Not
excellent.
bad,
well, thanks so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah. I was trying
when
to think.
When else did I see you, actually? That's been a long time. I think the last time we even had a conversation was maybe at one of the
Assembly.
We Came to Bull vibes.
The last time I remember having, or maybe it was just because I think you were very festive that time. When I saw you.
I'm always very festive.
I think it was outside. It
was outside.
It was outside Assembly. It was the last one I remember.
Okay.
You probably remember one more recent than I do.
Yeah.
But like fucking.
Well, when was the last Assembly show? I mean, let's think about that.
Darkest Hour.
Darkest Hour. I wasn't there, so it couldn't have been that one.
Then it was.
Yeah, I mean, but I remember I was very festive the last time I saw you at the Claremont Civic Center.
You were drunk as fuck, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to represent. But, dude, it's good. It's flipping awesome to have you here. There's so much to talk about. It's almost like I have no idea where to start. But, listen, your first love.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Zom.
The Zom.
What do you want to know about the Zom? Well, first of all, like, I mean...
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. I mean, there's Retrocide, there's Shun the Reptile, there's how you guys came about, there's Wacken. Where do you start? But let's start from here, dude. Like, obviously, for the listeners, for the guys who may not know who Zombies Ate My Girlfriend is, when did you guys come around, and how did it all come about? Even the name, bro. Come on.
Oh well, that I don't know. I've given up answering the name question. but like I don't know. We started 2012 now.
Yeah.
That was the official one. The first one was Winterfest. We came out with the EP at Winterfest, played that, and then pretty much all the way till now, haven't stopped.
Yeah.
This has been my longest running project that didn't die.
Okay.
Of my musical career ever.
Okay.
Like,
no, that's actually, I mean, we're only a couple of minutes in and I'm already saying I started in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Because I think I've actually seen you live before.
I know where you're going now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me, was it you? Did you ever play Vortex 2008, December?
It could be. But we, used to do Psytrance project with my buddy James.
It was like a Dexter theme.
Yeah, that's one of the songs, that we did, like one of the sort of popular songs that we had.
Yeah.
We did like a remix of, I mean, this is old as fuck by now. People are like, Dexter, Jesus, old man.
Dude, come on, literally, still my favorite series of all time.
No, I mean, that's why we did the track. We enjoyed the series and shit. But it was that one, but I mean, it could have been, because about that time, that project lasted about 3-4 years, just under 5 years or something. Mm-hmm. And then that was where Zombies and Infanteria started for me.
Yeah.
Was like the tail end of that.
Okay.
That stuff sort of, it's like my buddy had a kid, basically, the other half of this project. Mm-hmm. But he also did other music. So that kind of slowed down. He carried on with his projects on the side because, you didn't have to hook up with me to do it.
Sure.
The same, I didn't really have to, I could sit and write Zombies at home by myself. I didn't have to hook up and do this whole thing. So then I just kind of did that and we went our separate ways.
Okay.
And we're still
good mates.
I mean, it's one of my longest fucking friends I've ever
sure.
had in my life. It's the dude I learned how to play guitar with.
Okay.
Everything.
Yeah, but I just remember when I first was introduced to Zombies, I went back. I mean, I'm a type of person, if I get interested in an artist, I go deep.
Yeah, you go and dig up some.
Yeah, so I found that you were in a trance project, and What was it called again? Something.
It was Super Evil.
Super Evil. That's
Yeah.
it. Something evil. I remember it was Super Evil.
Something evil.
Yeah, and
That was just like metal with trance. Was pretty much
it, yeah.
what it was. Yeah.
But I'm convinced that I actually saw you at the 2008 Vortex.
It can be, man.
And
like,
dude, it's definitely you, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
And it was actually because I went to the trance parties for the jaw, you know, and
Yeah.
I loved trance music to a certain extent. But as soon as you added distorted guitars and stuff to it, that's when it just goes.
Yeah, but there were so many, like, that was always the thing. There were so many sort of, I don't know what the fuck you call them, trance heads or whatever, like that, like, sort of came from a metal background or a rock background.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I mean, there was like a bit of a gimmick to that. Like, people see the guitar and they're like, oh, shit. And then, and then it's actually good as well. And then they're like, oh.
I'm one of those dudes because I was completely sold. That was literally the best set I think I've seen at a trance party. No joke. I mean, I went to...
Yeah, I went to
went to trance parties for 3 years in a row, every single one for like 3 seasons. So I'm definitely seen you a couple of times, but that one specific Vortex, it was the December Vortex, and you had a day set, and it was excellent.
But it was a mindfuck because it was like you play that stuff, and like, you know, those parties, it's a totally different scene. It's like a good few thousand people, everyone's on board with having a good time.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then there as well, that was the first, because I mean, I'd mostly done metal stuff before that as well. And it's like the usual metal story. You like playing to fucking hardly anyone.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's all just depressing as fuck. And,
Sure.
you know, and you slog through it. And then, so it's like you're doing that. And then like in one night, I'll do that, like do some like show at Raw where it's like, it went okay.
Yeah.
And then a few hours later, you're fucking at Alien Safari.
Oh, did you like double back on like gigs
Yeah,
and stuff
playing
like that?
to like
Oh, wow.
1,000 or 2,000 people that are just like, if you just fucking go like that, they're all like
Yeah,
that,
for
you know,
sure.
they lose it.
Yeah,
You're
that's the one
like-
thing about the trance parties is like there was a huge sense of
Yeah.
community, yeah, like massive.
Yeah, and just like, I think just more accessible, just so much more. It's like the perfect storm. Like for South Africa, it's like where we don't have like a band, we don't really have like a strong music culture. Well, this is my theory. Like, because of the past and shit, one of the things we didn't get is we were sort of locked out of all of that. One of the few things that did escape that was sport for us.
Yeah.
Even though we were banned from various competitions and all that shit. Like, I mean, you can see it with the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, look at me. I'm like a fucking, like a fly, dude. I'm not, I don't look like a rugby fan, and I'm not really, but I'll watch the World Cup, and like when, you know, when the Bokke won and shit, it was like
Jeez, dude,
amazing moment, you know?
I'm reliving that shit like every day.
It's fucking great.
Because
you
I'm
know?
a huge rugby fan. I
No,
love it.
it's, I mean, I'm obviously not as big as you, but Jesus, I was there, dude. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But like we don't really have that with music, I find, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, it's just one of those things you got to like really slug through.
Yeah,
I did a bit of that
100%.
thing now where I had a big point to make and it just fucking disappeared into the ether.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
fine.
We've got all the time in the world, dude. Got all the time in the world. Okay, so I mean, on that note, then maybe we should go back to the ZOM situation where so you did that. That was obviously before ZOM, right?
Yeah, that was like ZOM at that stage was just a sort of thing. I was in another band at that point, somewhere there. I
Okay.
can't remember all the shit exactly, but it was like another band called 21st Century Tragedy, which is like
I
total.
recognize that. Sorry, I mean,
You might know it through Puller and all those
yes,
guys.
yeah, Carl and all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely on some posters I've seen before.
Yeah.
Just to note, we got Granny J off camera here. How you doing, brother?
What up, yo?
Cool. So just chime in if you know any of these names and stuff.
Yeah,
dude.
I will.
Okay, sweet. So
The name.
what's the
Yeah, it was 21st Century Tragedy.
yeah.
And then when that band kind of like split up, and then I had like this material that I was working on that I guess would have been sort of the next material we would have started with this band.
Yeah.
But then the band didn't work out, and I met Ferdy like while I was in that band, and then so at that point it was just me and Ferdy sitting at home basically writing these like tunes and shit. We didn't even have a vocalist or anything
Yeah.
like that. Like Gav almost came in at the end.
tail
there.
end,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was kind of just like, I mean, he wasn't the last guy. The last guy was actually Louis, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, and we just kind of started like that, just
Okay.
wanting to record that. I mean, that was when Louis was doing.
Was your whole album finished by then? Like that whole.
Yeah, like when
Okay,
we
wow.
played Winterfest, we it was the first show we ever played, and because now obviously I'd known Patrick already from the 21st days and stuff, and playing Metal for Africa like that
Okay,
and stuff. So
okay.
like we had like a little. I mean, as much.
30 was Dayturn's Night, right?
Yeah, and he was
Yes,
in
okay.
Dayton's Night then and
Yes.
stuff, and then it was like, so we had like a little bit of not pull, I would guess, but like maybe a little bit of reputation that we could go to Patrick and go like, look, we got this project, we think it's going to be really cool.
And we want to launch it, yeah.
Yeah, we want to play our first show at M4A, you
Yeah.
know, like kind of thing. So he like gave us as decent a slot he could give for
Yeah.
people that haven't played before, you know, like
Sure,
a show. But he
sure.
knew we'd all be in another band, so that was
Yeah, almost
know.
like a without saying it, super group.
yeah.
kind of
But
vibe.
like back then, like you didn't get like now you get a lot of that.
Yeah.
Because we all like play in pretty much as many bands as we want to handle playing it.
Yeah.
To
for
try
sure.
and get some of the shine.
Yeah, I know that for sure.
But I mean that's what I did with Terry as well. It was like Zom was my thing, and then Chris approached me.
Yes.
Because I knew them through, like, it's the 75 days. I don't know if you've ever heard of this crap before.
No.
Like, you see, these are now all the northern suburb legends
Okay.
of the metal scene
All right.
coming out there. It's like there was this house in what's that area? Monte Vista, Goodwood, Tableview, whatever the fuck. That side of town.
Yeah.
And it was just like, street address was like 75 or whatever. And a bunch of like Louis Hen, like he stayed there. Gav stayed there. Fucking Brad from Broken Result, the guitarist, also stayed. Like there was like a few old musos. I mean, Ara stayed there for a while.
Yeah.
Chris also stayed there.
Jeez, so it's just like, it was like almost like a
They all went through
underground
this-
commune,
Yeah, they
like
all
a
went through this
musical
place,
underground
yeah.
commune.
And, like,
Okay,
I mean, if you
rad.
ask-
I never knew any of this.
Ask Kyle, he'll know about the shit
Okay.
as well. And then like so it's sort of all these guys in the north, but I like actually grew up in Paarl.
Okay.
So like only once I did sort of 21st, and then we like played shows, and then we discovered like, oh, there's stuff happening.
Yes.
There's like a metal scene and shit.
Sure.
And then we met Louis and all these things, and then it was like it was actually through my cousin. Like weirdly, my cousin knew Gav and all these guys.
Okay.
And then we just like he was
Just
the
kinda
middleman,
connected,
and then
yeah.
and then we hooked up and. Yeah, and then that was what made me eventually I'd moved to like the northern suburbs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then most of my music story is all on that side of town, actually.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
so everyone
Jeez.
used to go to this house and do all, and that's where they recorded Broken Results, and they recorded all this shit,
wow.
and like
Okay.
everything comes from there, basically.
Jeez. Okay. So you were very into that. I mean, like, you mentioned Carl a couple of times. And
Yeah,
at
yeah.
that time, like Hammer the Masses.
Yeah,
and-
that whole northern suburbs fucking.
So how long have you
Fine.
actually? Because in terms of my timeline in my head, from what I see, because I mean, obviously all this stuff happened before. It was very much the same. Where I discovered that there was a metal scene when I started Atlantic South. You know,
Yeah, so
I
that
didn't-
was your injection into
exactly.
it. Yeah.
It's very much the same. So we actually have a little bit in common, which I like. But when did you actually? Because as far as I'm concerned, my timeline is you started Zom. Okay, Zom did very well, and then you parted ways with Louis. Chris came in.
Yeah.
Did you join Terry after Chris joined? Or have
No,
you,
before already.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that you see, I thought it was the other way around.
No. It was like somewhere in the beginning of Zom, then Chris approached me, and because their guy had left the band.
Yeah.
And then just because I was recording the fucking Zom EP with Louis, and then so we would hang out at the 75 place again.
Yes.
And then I met Chris, and then it was all like, oh, you like all the same fucking old man metal that I like. And then we got along, you know.
Yeah.
And then then Louis actually suggested it, I think, to Chris, like, why don't you ask Adriano, because he knew that I liked all that thrash stuff that Chris likes, so it's like I could probably play the stuff he wants to play.
Yeah, sure.
And then I joined them because I was like, cool guys, and fucking it was weird for me. It was weird because it was like the kind of music I played when I would like just got out of school, and obviously now at that stage I'd been out of school for a long time, so it's like I'd way gone past that. But like that was my first love of metal. Comes from I basically got into metal from like thrash metal, in the early '90s, about that time.
Okay.
So like that was my first thing. Was always like Slayer, old Metallica, old Megadeth, Sepultura, all that old shit where it's just blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Just like I mean. Just to segue slightly, only slightly in terms of this thrash stuff, I went this weekend to the Metallica tribute.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I must
Chris
say, and if Chris is listening, he is looking so good. He's a shadow of himself.
Do you just mean physically?
Yeah, he's so he looks completely different.
Yeah, no, he's yeah. If you haven't seen him in a while, I can imagine. Yeah,
it was a shock.
Yeah, there was a stage when I saw him as well, and I was like, oh, holy shit! But like, yeah.
I mean, that's the Chris that you know from the earlier Terry days to the Chris you see now is a completely different person, man. So shout out, Chris. I mean, he went vegan, I think, eh?
Yeah.
And geez,
you can only see what it does. How can you not know? How can you not know when someone's gone vegan?
Yeah, I mean. You can obviously see that it has an effect and a positive one at that. So shout out Chris Hall. I mean, you're looking great, buddy.
He actually said to me that he spoke to you.
Yes, I said I wanted to get Terry. Sorry, what do you want to say, bro?
I was going to say, I remember Chris when he still had the long blonde hair in Wargrave. I think it was Wargrave.
Yeah.
And I used to get him for shows for free because I look just like him. And people are like, I walk up the wall and they're like, hey, Chris. And I'm like, hey. And I just walk in. I'm like, go, Stokes. Yeah, there we go. A little bit bad on my part, but...
That's how small metal scene was.
You used
like
to trick some people.
Just long hair and it's all that one guy now.
It also helped that my best mate was the drummer of Wargrave as well. So he was like, we walk up together. No, that was Lawrence Mayer.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, Mr. Meinl himself.
All right. Yeah.
Nice. So
sick.
So yes, where were we going with that?
I don't know, but
Chris is looking so good.
Yeah, Chris is looking great. But you said something, and then so the Metallica tribute. Saw Chris. I said I wanted to get Terry on. So I'm hopefully you'll be back soon with Chris to chat some.
Like I said, this is fucking close, man. For me, this is a pleasure. I'll come down here anytime.
Let's go, man. And you know, like
let's get this episodes out, bro.
I'm trying to do weekly now. If you can see, bro, I'm trying to get one a week.
I'll help you for the spot every now and then.
100%. I'd love the help, man. So we've got Zombies so far. We got you broken. You approached Pat and Info to get into not into the scene, but to launch your new EP or album.
Yeah.
What was that? What was it called? It escapes me.
Well, it was Patient Zero.
Yes, that's it.
But I mean, now as well, it's like, I mean, I suppose that's really something that Pat kind of affords to everyone, you know?
Yeah.
If you've
shown initiative and you've got a body of work.
Even if you just enter the scene without sort of even having that, if you guys have like sort of done what most starting bands do, try to get something out and try to get people to take you seriously, I guess. And you can see that, then you usually get on, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a case of, it takes a little while longer to, you build up someone's trust, and then it's like, oh, okay, maybe a little bit of better, like, fucking slots or whatever. But I mean, we played it like 8 o'clock at night or whatever, which now is like, that's kind of opening.
Yeah.
It's the beginning or whatever.
Jeez, well, no, now it's 5 o'clock.
But it starts at 5 or something.
Yeah, it starts at 5.
Yeah.
And geez, I remember when we went there. I went to see all the bands because it was a rad lineup, and I knew the guys.
It's a long day if you go from the beginning, man.
And we were playing the last slot with the Ill System, and geez, I had to keep it under wraps. As you know, I like to get a bit festive.
Yeah, and especially there, because there you always end up seeing dudes that you're pretty close with, but that you never really see.
Yes.
And then you get to hang out and like.
And you get. I mean, it's a great experience. I mean, there's one thing that the tagline is: it's a place for friendship and metal.
Yeah. No, and I'm a fucking hermit. I mean, it's like I only get to see people these days when I basically go play shows and stuff. Like I don't. Yeah.
And you've been like I don't want to say quiet, but you've been behind the scenes of late.
Oh well, you mean in terms of sort of like out and about?
Let's just do that before we take a little break. You've just won Best Music Video on the SAMMAs.
Yeah, that was great.
Congratulations.
Thank you, dude.
I mean, Every
was
year
great,
you
but
guys
that-
are just putting out some.
I got to say, that's
Awesome
really got to
content.
go. All the credit's got to
Rick
go
and
to
Tim.
Rick and Tim. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that the
Rick's in my band.
newscast?
He's such a hard
Were you
worker.
guys all dressed as? Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
flipping
dude.
great
The worst is
video.
yet to come. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of like the thing with that thing as well. It's actually, is it today? I think it's a year old today.
today.
Yeah,
For
might
real?
be today.
Jeez.
If today's the 25th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then it
No,
should
today
be.
is the
It is, isn't it?
26th, so yesterday.
Oh fuck. Anyways, but it's
To be released
yeah that
Tuesday.
that video was supposed to, like, a story about that was that was actually supposed to come out. That was supposed to be the first thing that anyone saw or heard from us after, like, sort of the gap between albums.
Shun the Reptile or
Well, no, well, yeah, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
you know, because the way we did it was we had to release that one song just as a fucking single on YouTube,
Yeah.
like shitty or whatever. And then, I mean, people were excited for that because they hadn't heard anything from us for a while.
Yeah.
And then the album came out, and then almost a month after the album, the video came out. And I wanted the fucking video to come out first.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, what the fuck is ZAMG doing? And then
Boom.
this is what we're fucking doing, you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but then we ended up, it's all the behind the scenes shit. It's like, then we ended up holding it back the whole time because we were really trying to get
The best product.
well, we were trying to get Metal Hammer's fucking attention.
Ah,
is what we were trying to
Okay,
do.
yeah, yeah.
Like, we were trying to get Metal Hammer to like share this basically on their platform, you know. And we just couldn't fucking get, like, we got people like interested on that side, but they weren't like there, like in the office. It's the weirdest story actually, because at first when I was hearing the excuse, there are legitimate reasons now that I know, but they sounded
You can
like
always speculate.
yeah, well, they sounded like typical excuses, like, you
Yeah.
fuck this band, you know,
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
your video. You know? I mean, I understand the game, and it's like, but yeah, so it kind of sounded like it because, like, the one thing they were talking about the whole time is they were like, no, like this editor lady or whatever, she's fucking in Nepal or something.
Mm.
All right, that's, you know, and I'm like at some metal fest, and I'm like, man, don't come to me.
Don't come
this
with that bullshit.
bullshit, bro. Nepal, what the
Yeah.
fuck's going on there? There's no metal scene there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, so I'm just whatever. Anyways, and then eventually, you know, it didn't happen, and we had to just release on our own Steam.
Sure.
But we had, like, became weird. It's like we did that, you know, that fucking World Metal Congress thing that we did this year.
Yes, yeah, in
right?
London.
That Nepal thing was legit because I met the motherfuckers there
Oh, wow.
that like host the festival for
Oh,
this.
shit.
Yeah, and it's like it, and it was actually, and then, like, if you go and check the timeline, you'll see in Metal Hammer the
Okay.
following month they have this expose.
They featured the
on that
yeah,
fact.
and
It's
you were
called,
on it.
Silence Fest or whatever. No, not the Congress, but
No, yeah, but you were mentioned like
yeah, in the would have been mentioned, I guess. Yeah,
yeah.
but it's yeah, and then like later, then through that, actually got the proof. I was like, oh fuck, it was real, you know. But it was just bad timing, really. It was like that time of the year. That,
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. We were busy talking about that London conference. I'm
yeah,
very
yeah.
intrigued to know what that was all about.
that was a lot of fun.
I'm sure.
That came out of the blue. That was kind of through the Wacken Foundation and Wacken and stuff. I don't know. Maybe they felt sorry for us. They're like this poor bastard band that won the battle and got fuck all afterwards. But this is their biscuit they can get. But no, I'm joking around. We're obviously really,
sure.
we're obviously really grateful.
Very
for that.
grateful. Yeah.
But yeah, so they threw that bone our way, and it was sort of a first of thing that they were trying, sort of through a collective group of metalhead people behind the scenes and stuff. It was really cool. I mean, got to meet like the fucking dude who like founded Metal Hammer, like shit like that, who's like buddies with fucking Maiden and, you know, all that
No,
kind of.
that's
It's like
crazy.
it's ridiculous. And then they had all kinds. It was basically over 2 days. They had like all kinds of speakers and documentaries airing and stuff. But the whole theme for the thing was very much. I don't know how to put this, but it was kind of like third world fucking metal. Like,
okay. Bringing the third world to the first world
yeah,
kind
like
of vibe.
all these like place. You know, I mean, I don't know exactly know what. I guess the purpose must maybe create a bit of awareness and stuff. Also, I could see it was sort of very much to launch maybe. I got to recommend this. A fucking metal documentary called Syrian Metal is War.
Okay.
It's we met the director for it, and we met another dude called Jake that's also from Syria and stuff, and they they've obviously left the country and that.
Yeah.
And he's just in a band, but he wasn't in like the doc. You know, they'd only met sort of after the documentary, and then we met these guys. Really fucking cool, really amazing documentary. You have to watch this shit. Like, I mean, because I didn't know what to make, because I knew about it, like sort of going to it. I'd heard about this documentary, and then I first thought to myself, okay, metal scene in Syria, are you fucking high? Like, like, have you watched the news? Do you see what the place looks like? It's like a fucking rubble pile. Yeah. Like, you know, so then I imagined, like, I thought, okay, maybe this is like some small little corner of the country somewhere that hasn't been bombed to fucking shit, and this stuff is going on there, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like in the middle of the shit, in all the places you're hearing about on the news, like exactly how it looks, just like that. These fucking dudes are doing it. This metal shit. It's like the guy describes like how they have to like, they decide to put together like a, I mean, it's fucking crazy what these dudes go. It's like they decide to put together like a metal show, okay, in Syria. I think it was in Syria. Yeah, it was. And then, and it's like, keep in mind as well, like the level that they're at in their scene and stuff is like, they're at the level where like a lot of these guys, most of these bands are just like cover bands, playing old Metallica and old Sepultura songs, and like Seek and Destroy and War for Territory and all this shit like that. Like they're playing those songs. They're like risking their lives and like everything, like they're fucking everything to like go play this shit in like a place that you could barely call a venue. Like, you know, that they have to like get all these, you know, the amount of like grassroots shit they have to get hold of, like all these dudes to like just get equipment to do this stuff. And it's crazy. I mean, like, and then to go to the venue, it's like they go through like fucking ISIS checkpoints, rebel checkpoints, then the government army checkpoint, like Syrian army, and like it's like 4 checkpoints of like different groups, you know?
Yeah.
Out of any of them that would just like pretty much end them or pull them aside and throw them into some fucking jail they'll never see.
So they're literally risking their lives to
to do this shit.
To you know? Get their passion out there.
Yeah. Like that's
unbelievable.
That's like for real. And you're just like, you know, it got me thinking, like stuff like that. I was like,
got you thinking it's not that bad.
Yeah, but like, you know, besides the obvious of like appreciating your own life, you know, I was thinking like that it's like you don't get this really for any other kinds of music. I don't see any stories being told of like, let's say, for example, and I might get myself into hot water once
Billie
again.
Eilish.
Yeah. Let's say, for example, yes, like you won't see people saying like, you know, I just had to throw that Billie Eilish or fucking Taylor Swift, like, you know, like cover jam, you know, and risk my whole family's life and my own to do that.
Yeah.
You don't. It's just unfucking heard of. That doesn't happen. But like, it happens for this music, for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, and then as well, the thing that struck me that was so crazy about this thing was like you watch this documentary and then I realized, okay, now something different's happening in metal that's never happened in the metal world before, which is like, think about it. You've got all these like all this old shit we used to listen to, Metallica and Sepultura and all this crap, and the kind of lyrics, you know, a lot of this old 90s metal, it's all war themed and stuff like that. And it's all written by people who've never been in a war, who've never experienced like any of this crazy shit that they're writing about, right? And fucking now for the first time in the world, like because metal has like spread all over the place, like even to our like shitty country, you know, it's like we do, you know, we've got metal here like as well, and we shouldn't have it. And we're still doing these, you know, we're still doing these things, and there's just no, it's completely lost my point again. Like a motherfucker.
No. Okay, so no, but what you're saying is they
got to get back to it.
Yeah, no. So they are literally risking their lives to show
saying that
their
it's
appreciation for good metal and stuff like that. And they're huge fans.
Yeah, and that like they now for the first time they're singing these lyrics. So it's like, say you see like these guys like singing like fucking Territory from like KSAD, right?
Yeah.
And it's like he's singing about shit that's actually happening, like there, like there's like snipers outside his like place. It's like War for Territory.
Yeah.
This shit's like playing out like in his backyard, you know, like, and you've never had that before ever in metal. I don't know if it means anything or where it's going to lead to or whatever, but like it does look like one of the things I grasped from that that conference was like, this is now this metal shit is spread all over. Like metal really is just like the States and Europe, like largely, and I include
lots of Germany, lots of.
I include the UK in Europe
Yeah,
and that.
sure.
And sorry, fucking Brexiteers.
Well,
but it's like, but you know, that is largely where metal comes from, and where metal has been built up and all these things. But like all over the world, in all these other places in the world, like, you know, we got these albums and we were listening to it, and we all had the same dreams of wanting to fucking be in metal bands, and like, you know, and we.
Well, like I said, I mean, just to dovetail on what you're saying is, for instance, I mean, it's no secret that I'm a massive Parkway fan.
Yeah.
You know, and then they did their second documentary where they went to Guatemala.
Yeah.
And they went to a number of territories unknown for metal, where there's a huge metal scene. For instance, I mean, okay, we know that there's a metal scene in India, and it's there. But for a place like Guatemala, I mean, if you see the footage from that documentary, I mean, there's security.
Yeah, but this motherfuckers there, they take metal seriously.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but this was also like, you know, sometimes the South African metal scene, some things just go so fucking under the radar, it's disgraceful. But that aside, it's, I don't know if you've ever seen this footage of Borgasm playing some South American show, like to an audience that I don't think any South African band has ever played to an audience of that size before. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
got to be honest, the only Borgasm video I've seen is
hardly anyone knows this video.
Yeah.
And it's like, I myself and Chris almost missed this as well. But I think that was the time of the scene where it was like, you know, you couldn't fart and we would know that you'd done it already. Like, so we were just like plugged in and watching everything.
Yeah, sure.
Like, and then
so you're not so much like that anymore.
No, now I like I don't feel like I don't know, like a shift in myself I felt over this last year or so is I just feel like my whole music career I've been like fighting to try to get people to take me like seriously to some degree, like as a musical artist or whatever, and it's been a very frustrating road to do that, and I've just reached the point now where I'm just like, well, I know what I'm made of. I know what I'm worth. I know what I like can and can't do, and that kind of thing. I've like tested myself in ways that I've wanted to test and haven't wanted to, and then so now I'm just like, I just don't care.
Sure.
I just don't, it's like the people I care about now, and I've said this a few times publicly that sometimes gets me in hot water.
It's your family.
I don't know why, but beyond the, you know, I mean, obviously I care for my family, but like sort of in this game that we're playing, this music game, I like don't care anymore about trying to like edge out my own territory.
Yeah.
I feel like I have that, and now I only care about the people who are part of the band, who support the band, who want to see the band do more stuff, who like, that's like the fans.
Well, I must be honest, there's
like,
a lot of them.
Like, well, there's enough.
There's enough.
There's never. 100%. I don't mean to sound ungrateful again, but it's
but I'm very intrigued, and I'm very I'm refreshed to see the way you look at it. You know, referring to these other bands and like that's hectic, you know, and how metal you are clearly extremely passionate for what you do.
Especially the South African scene. It's like a lot of the flack I get, I think, is like comes from that, is because I actually do give a shit about the metal scene in South Africa. If I didn't, like so many people think, you wouldn't hear me talking about half the shit I talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I think one thing with you, dude, is that, and you're very much like me, and another thing that we've got in common is you're very direct.
Yeah.
You're not going to beat around the bush and pussyfoot
like
around people, right?
words anymore, yeah. I'm also old and I'm running out of time, so...
Okay, but listen, while we're on that, we mentioned Billie Eilish. I mean, that thing blew up, eh?
That
crazy. Thing blew up.
And
you got a lot of heat and a lot of love at the same time, eh? At the same time.
This is how I look at it. It's like and I only address this and say this because, like, for anyone else that might go through this crap, all right, this like cancel culture kind of shit, is it's not that bad. No. Whatever you feel like saying that you feel like you can't say it. And it really doesn't matter. And like, just remember this: every single time when like. It's like, say that situation there that I had, and it's like I had a handful of people that were really gunning me, and that was it.
Yeah.
Then you got to remind yourself, you're like, okay, there's about 2,000 people on this platform that follow you. It's nothing.
Yeah.
But
In the greatest scheme of
5
things.
people out of 2,000 is like
Sure.
less than nothing.
Sure.
So you,
Well, look, there's another way that I look at it.
you know.
I look at it in the sense that the reason why you got so much hate and the reason why you got so much love at the same time, remember, it's both sides of the story.
Yeah.
Is because people care what you have to say.
Also, I think there's a section of people that seem to think that, and they're not just with me, I've seen it with like other people too, that seem to think that if you, I don't know, I get a vibe of like it's like almost like sharks. They think they smell blood in the water, and then they think like, oh, yeah,
It's a parkway.
but it's like they, then it's like, and then they think like, oh, okay, we got him. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
And then and everybody piles up and adds
yeah,
to it.
and I just like at the end of the day, it's like you got to remember like 2 things. It's Facebook, number 1, it's not real. Number 2,
It's a little real.
yeah,
Little
but
real.
it's like it's also like, I'm talking like, let me put it to you this way: random person on the internet, fucking relatively known for saying controversial, provocative things that piss people off, says provocative thing that pisses people off. It just it's
yeah.
like, and you're talking about pop stars. At the end of the day, that was my main thing. Is I was just like really, like someone said a pop star is shit. Like, are we really doing this, guys?
Yeah. Really, are we really like
Are we really
having 190 comment
Are we really
situation?
doing this?
No, for sure.
But it's not. Yeah, but it like I don't know. I guess the only thing from sort of on that kind of note, because like really, I do find it a bit pathetic that people get that upset about something that stupid.
Yeah, but I maintain what I'm saying is that I think the reason that stirred the pot a bit is because people care what you think, and then
Possibly.
people tend to want to disagree. And no, but and also I
People
mean,
like that too.
I mean, remember the only people who took you on are people in our circles.
No, for sure.
So it's almost. We tackled this in the last podcast, a bit of negativity in the local scene and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe at the same time, it's good to show, a little bit of,
I also
you
feel like
can't get along all the fucking time.
no, for sure. And I also feel like that was the line for me that got crossed that I felt was a bit much, was the fact that like I'm talking about a pop celebrity. Mm-hmm. It's not for all intents and purposes, this is not a real person.
Yeah.
Like in your real life.
Basically, someone's been created.
This is like, would you have gotten that upset if I said Tom Cruise is a fucking trash actor? Would you have? No one would have fucking blinked an
Because it's
eye.
related to music. That's
And
why.
but you know what I mean? Like anything arts related, that's wholly subjective. On whether you like it or not depends on whether it's good or not. You can't objectively say like that's good, that's bad. So I just subjectively said I think that's shit.
Sure.
And it's it's like, but I just kind of look at it. It's like the one thing that surprised me as well was that a lot of people seem to be saying like they're like, oh, your content is so negative. Like, how can you be so negative, bruh? And I'm just like, dudes, I sorry, I just disagree. I don't see it that way. I don't think it's negative. I think because it's not what you want to hear, you think it's negative. And like
the worst is yet to come.
yeah, and it could just be like my thing is just that there might be, you got to look at the other side of it as well.
Sure.
There might be people who look at that and they're like, yes, I'm glad he said that.
Yeah.
And then like, how is it negative to them?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're going to get 50% of the people that's going to say that, and you're going to get 50% of the people that don't say it. So
the game at the end
it's
of the
simple
day.
as that. I mean,
And as well, life goes on.
100%.
Like that's like
100%.
I think a lot of people when it's happening, they think like, oh God, like
Yeah.
what the fuck? And it's just like, no.
Yeah.
Like I mean that one,
sure.
okay, that one was like you were like, okay, wow, 3-4 days in.
Listen, you got attacked.
Motherfuckers were still
Gotta
going.
be honest. You
know?
you got attacked and you attacked at the
Yeah.
same time. But fair play.
Because at a point I was just like, okay, I gotta walk away now.
Sure, 100%, 100%, 100%. I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. Is
No,
that
but
the
it's-
fact
it's-
you're gonna put something
it's
out
fine.
there, and there's people who are close to the situation, who close in the local scene. They're gonna jump aboard. It's
Yeah,
just,
it happens,
Sometimes
man.
sometimes it's even related to boredom.
And
So-
and yeah, and I know this as well, and I would be, it'd be wrong of me to not say, but I mean, I don't think I have to admit this. Everyone, it should be clear as fuck to everyone. Like, this is the game I play.
No, 100%.
Like I've kind of always been that guy that it's like, well, if I'm not allowed to say that, now I want to say it.
And I'm gonna.
Like, because I want to see what happens when I say the words.
Yeah.
Like,
Look, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all entitled to our own opinions. At the end of the day.
Yeah, but it's like, it is funny how that's not. Like, I have noticed that this. I mean, we're on the topic, I guess. That's why.
Sure. Sorry, I didn't mean to go down the rabbit hole.
No, it's fine. It is a fucking rabbit hole. It's but it is like just that you're starting to see this kind of cancel culture like stuff take hold here in South Africa now, and it's always interesting for me because it's like socially and culturally, like we're very similar to like the Americans and the Brits, and almost to the point of like. Something that's happening there in their society, say like 2 years ago, starts happening here now. And it's like, I'm starting to see that where it's like, fuck man, we've had like a few incidents already this year. I mean, I'm not going to bring them up.
No.
But where you can see like people have said maybe what people would perceive to be the wrong thing and stuff. I mean, one of them, Andrew Lambert, all these things. It's like, and fucking people go for it.
Yeah.
It's like the new... and it's just, and like to me, I just find like when I look at that stuff now, I just find it to be
I actually find
repulsive.
it to be a bit disturbing as well
repulsive.
Because you could be dealing with someone who's not mentally and this is I'm not by no means means Andrew. I know the situation with Andrew as well, but there could be a situation where there's someone who can't handle that kind of pressure and that kind of cyberbullying.
That's going to happen.
And something's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Something's going to happen like that still.
I don't condone that kind of behavior by any stretch of the imagination. And I did touch on it a little bit on the previous podcast to say everybody just needs to kind of come together. But, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But then again, at the same time, it is a healthy situation. But I just noticed there was a little bit of cyberbullying happening.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of it this year.
In multiple incidents as well, where that's completely unnecessary, especially in our small little scene in Cape Town and extended to the rest of the country. But
Joburg.
I just want to create and Joburg.
Yeah, that's the fucking circuit.
Yeah, basically. Well, I mean, there's some excellent bands in PE as well.
Yeah, there's Bloom and PE and I mean they have bands and Durban and that.
Yeah.
I know Volvo comes from Durban.
Yes.
But I don't sort of count that in a way because it's like there's no scene there.
Yeah. There's the Winston and that's basically it,
And it's like nothing,
Yeah.
Nothing's really happening.
PE, you've got Warmer Lounge or Pool City, and then you've got like J-Bay down the road, like at work. It's like a small stage and stuff like that.
Yeah,
all very cool places to play.
Yeah, gigs to be had, and it's great. But it's like sort of if you, fuck, now I'm going off to the side here. But no, it's just if you want to sort of do the circuit and not do it on your own wallet, like that, you can actually make some money so that you pay for it. It's just Cape Town and Joburg
100%.
at this stage. Like, it fucking sucks because every 2 years or so, I keep having to look at Bloemfontein again, trying to see like, shit, are we gonna be able to pull this off?
Dude, go to Bloem.
Yeah, I know. This is what I hear.
I've been to Bloem twice.
Yeah, and both of them
fucking loved it, and they were both packed house shows.
This is what I'm hearing, man.
Yeah, dude.
It's just
I think
fucking grueling. We have to, for the Cape Town guys, how did you guys do that?
Dude, we got in a bus.
You did the bus, eh?
We did. I'm never doing it again. Never doing it again.
Yeah. I'm with you,
We
man.
got in a bus.
Done it once also. I'm out.
10 people in one bus.
Yeah, we did 3 bands for the first Wacken Battle on a bus.
No ways.
It's a joke.
Never again. I swear to God, I will pay more to get someone who can't pay for the flights to actually get over there.
No.
I will never do that again. It took us 12 and a half hours to get to Bloem.
Hey man, when you're like 21, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
like
I'm
later
35,
on,
bro.
yeah, you like
happening.
yeah, but you're more of a big boy, You're more of an adult.
Yeah, and I did not enjoy the drive. I'm never doing it again. I'm only flying and all that kind of jazz. But I completely understand where you're coming from in that regard. But we were talking about the accessibility. Yeah. Jeez, we went down a rabbit hole and all that kind of stuff. Let's put the social media thing back to bed. At the end of the day, guys, to everyone, it's all just try to be positive. That's all I'm saying.
He's making a public plea now.
Yeah, that's it. Just try to be positive. That's
the
all
devil
I'm saying.
sitting right
Just
next to him.
It's like
Nah, bro.
if you complain about...
you're not as scary as you're not as scary as you make out to be.
No, of course not.
It's like everyone complains about the lack of venues in this country in general. If people actually got together and stop fighting for just themselves and started fighting for each other as a music scene, the music venues wouldn't be closing down.
Yeah,
because
100%.
it'd be growing.
It's also just, you see, like with that, I think it's like two-part. It's like, and I got to say, this is one of the, this is maybe, I think, also why sometimes Zom gets this reputation of maybe being a bit snobbish and shit, is that like consciously made that effort with that project where I was just like, okay, I don't want this to be where I have to rely on like the other, my fucking colleagues, basically, my work colleagues, which is like the other people in the scene, in other bands and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to have to rely on them to come to the show. Like, and it's, I mean, I was speaking to, I never could say his name, so I'm not, but I was speaking to another guy in the scene of whose album has come out recently.
That narrows it down.
That narrows it down. And although there's a lot of releases these days.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Shit. Anyways, but he, and we were kind of saying like this thing, you know, it's still a factor where it's like that's a big factor in the South African music scene where a lot of the scene sort of survives on that. The fact that you can be friends with everyone and then you can get a lot of other bands come and watch your band. But like the problem for me with that is that like eventually the penny drops. And like eventually you're going to play a show where like they just can't make it anymore. Or maybe the guys in the bands of like they're a bit more like grown up now. They have more responsibilities and they can't offer that service to the scene anymore by being a crowd member.
Sure.
It's like just being a band member takes everything out already, you know? So it's like
that's a valid point, dude.
and then you're sitting there with like, but I mean, I don't know what the solution is to that. I guess what I'm saying is just from our point of view is what we did was we just went like, well, we're going to just pander to that then.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, whoever the fuck those people are out there that really like metal but don't play in bands.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, dude.
Like,
Look, to be
and
honest,
they're
with you,
hard to find, dude.
yeah. But that's also the thing is that we were talking about in the last episode is that we need something to encourage the younger generation to come through. You know, the younger guys. You know, we all hitting our 40s.
And I've thought as well about like that maybe that's just the way metal works. I mean, it certainly worked that way for us. It almost seems like that's how metal works. It works like this. It's like you're this little kid, you see bands and stuff music that you really like, you know. Eventually you start liking it so much to the point that you're like, maybe I can make this music.
Yeah.
And then you start doing it. And it's almost like that's just the trajectory of every fucking band. And then it's like, and then from there it splits even further. It's like, okay, you know, maybe I've now become a promoter and I leave bands. And maybe I'm doing this now and doing that now. And like, I mean, it's like, that's the... Look at like fucking Warren from Plug Music.
Yeah,
you
Warren
know?
Gibson. Yeah.
I mean, he's from bands.
Yeah.
Like, you know, okay, Patrick is still in bands and Minus Salt coming
Yeah,
back and
yeah, yeah.
everything now. But
Metal for Africa Summerfest, yeah?
yeah, but for quite a while, you know, he wasn't. And he was just doing promote. I mean, cranked up as well. Look at fucking Duncan.
So we were talking. So we were talking about like bands or members of bands going promoter style. Dude, even for me,
All the boring stuff.
I went band podcast.
Yeah, no, but yeah.
Still active
It's-
with the bands, obviously.
Yeah, you guys are still going, right?
Yeah. Slowly, but going.
Fuck everyone, you know. Everyone's you gotta. But yeah, I don't know. This is great, dude. I mean, this is like, I think you were very wise to get on this the time that you did. Because when did you start this? Year and a half?
May last year, yeah.
Yeah.
Year and 5 months.
I don't know. It's weird. The time you started doing this was actually the time I started getting into podcasts personally.
Oh,
at
wow.
home.
Okay.
That's all I do at home now is I just listen to this shit.
As well, dude.
All I do.
I'm a huge fan of podcasts. So
like,
I
have
like
you
to
heard
think that
this
you've
album? Have
maybe
you
heard
heard-
some of mine, eh?
Yeah. No, for
Awesome.
sure, dude. Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I listen to this shit more than I listen to music a lot of days.
Yeah.
Which is not a real good advertisement for music, I must say.
It's not, but when it's music related,
Yeah.
That's
Although
cool.
I must say that these days I've been getting into I have like phases of like getting into music and not.
Yeah.
When I'm writing a lot of Zom, then I probably don't. That's different now. Now I'm actually writing Zom, but I am listening to music at the same time.
Okay.
And I never do that before.
All right.
Before it's like when I start writing, then I stop listening to music.
Let's hit that with a big stick.
Okay.
I reckon. Okay, there's one thing that I find fascinating about both Zom and Terrier.
Oh yeah.
And you must confirm or deny.
What?
Right? Because this is obviously what
Bro?
Yeah, bro. Come on. Let's get into it.
But yeah.
You write everything Zom.
Yeah, pretty well.
Chris writes everything
Pretty
Terrier.
much. Yeah. Well, to the extent of like, I mean, I do most of the writing with Ferdy,
Okay.
as Chris would do most of the writing with Adrian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
okay.
yeah, if what you mean, yeah, it's Zom more my baby.
Basically,
Chris,
what you'll do
or
is
his.
write the rhythm sections and then add the
Yeah.
leads later.
Well, it's like with Zom, I like I'm kind of writing a bit again now, and it's like the first phase will just be me sitting at home. It's like my favorite part.
Wait, stop.
Yeah.
Zombies is writing again.
Yeah. Don't expect anything soon.
Well, it's a good
But-
thing that you're writing, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people listening are very keen to hear that.
Well, it's about now it's a year after Shan,
Yes.
after the last one, and I always wait about a year before I start writing again.
Why?
Because I don't want to
Play the same kind of style
yeah,
that you
it's
did
like
in the last album.
I want to. It's like we want to release the album, see like what people think of it,
Yeah.
then like essentially tour the album, like take it out to the live show, see what happens there, and then I like and then I let that perception like guide the next move because I'm like okay, oh that was actually that did work, like I thought that didn't work, and then I'll adjust moving forward. But I feel like if I don't give that gap to see that happening, then I'm just gonna go in on whatever.
You're going to go in blind.
Yeah,
with
whatever I
blinkers
was
on,
thinking
yeah.
on the previous
Sure.
album, I'm just going to keep
Okay.
thinking that and doing it, whether knowing.
So you actually, what you do is you release the album and you gauge the interactivity. And is that even a word? Yes, it is.
Yeah, or like sort of see what works and what doesn't.
Exactly, and see how positive they respond to it and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
I mean, that being said as well, it's like,
How long did it take you to write Retroside?
fuck, that one.
Because I mean that kind of for me, Patient Zero, I wasn't very familiar because
Yeah,
obviously
that was
I
kind
hadn't
of just
come.
the EP.
Yeah, but I hadn't come into the kind of metal scene by then. You were already well established by the time I came in. I mean, when I saw those photos, we'll get to your dress code.
Well,
and all
when
that
did
kind
you
of stuff.
come in? 2014, you said.
April 2014 was the first time I stepped foot on stage ever in my life.
So the Interior would have already gone to Wacken.
Yes.
2013, I
Yes.
think. Yeah.
Then it was Red Helen, then it was Zom.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Alien went the following year.
Yeah. Can I just tell you something quickly?
Yeah.
I cried
What?
when you guys won.
Oh, so did we.
No. But like
cried
I
big
was
time.
holding my phone,
No, it was fucking.
sitting on that couch exactly where you were,
Yeah.
and I saw you guys had won, and I was watching the live announcer.
Dude.
It was live, everything.
Yeah.
I actually shed a tear.
That was fucked up. I know. Like at the end of the day, it is just a battle of the bands. Like I know, like a lot of people say
It's a
that,
little bit bigger
and
than
it's
that,
like
dude.
it is a bit bigger, but it also isn't. Like
Yeah.
there's two ways to slice it. But it's like I just look at it like this. I'm like, okay, like the group of guys that we were that did that.
Mm-hmm.
It's. We kind of feel like, in general, people didn't really believe in us.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of always, it kind of felt like Terrier went through to Wacken. Okay, that was the first time anyone went for the battle. Bands have played Wacken before.
Yeah.
Sacrifix, I think, played it twice.
Yeah.
Something like that on their own steam. Aggro has also done it on their own steam.
What at Wacken?
Yeah, they've
for
played.
real?
Like, I think how the whole sordid Wacken story begins is with Sacrifix.
Okay.
I think they've played it twice. I could be mistaken. I know they've
Sure.
definitely played it at least once. Then I know, like Clifford Crab and those guys, they played it just a bit before South Africa started entering it as a competition.
Yeah.
And then Soteria was the first one. That was kind of like, ooh, what's gonna happen, And then it was so weird. It's like that was such an eye opener for me. Like we went there. Never mind like the whole Wacken experience. Obviously, that's like It's fucking.
And you've done it twice. You fuck.
I know.
Sorry, I don't mean to be rude.
No,
That's awesome.
I don't blame you. It's like Chris and I had a little moment after the second Wacken. We had a little moment where we were like, went aside from the rest of the band.
Yeah.
And we were like, dude, do you know that we fucked the whole system? Like, we came here twice. We won it the second time. Like,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
all that.
I've been waiting for the right moment to actually, because I've been wanting to ask this, and I kind of brought it up with Gallows.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I got their kind of take on it. And I mean, I think this whole Wacken challenge battle for around the world is amazing to get people to go play at, I mean, Wacken, like the best metal festival ever.
Yeah.
And the only band from South Africa that has actually won, this is why I've been wanting to speak to you about this, is you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Gallows, I mean, I think they're freaking amazing, but I mean, didn't even come close to winning.
But
I mean, actually, we don't know. We can't say close, but I mean, they went in the top
just
5.
went in the top 5, yeah.
Yeah, they went in the top 5.
Oh, yeah. And you only know the top 5
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah,
announced
exactly.
that.
So I go, and
fair.
speaking to them, I'm
Jeez,
like,
why do you have to sound so harsh, bro?
no, that's why that's why
know
I'm
what
trying
he
to
means.
backtrack.
No,
a
I
bit.
know what he means as well. I'm joking.
And like speaking to them, like they're still on this like full like hype train, and they're like working hard, and they're trying to like they've made all
Yeah,
this
yeah,
connections,
yeah.
and I'm like flipping epic for you guys. But now speaking to you, who won,
I got tear stories for you.
what? Like, I mean, because I think it's also needs to be, people also need to realize that it's not, yes, cool,
Well-
you won, but I mean, what, has anything come out of it?
Well-
Who have you met? What is the pro? Because I mean, I think people also need to realize that shit, it's a dog world out there, and
It's a piece of
Yeah.
shit dog world.
so like, I would love to know personally, and also for the other guys that would love to know,
Yeah.
is there anything that could actually come out of that? I mean, yes,
Well,
there could be, but what? Or
This
how?
is the thing. It's like
Can I just quickly before
Yeah,
you
yeah,
say,
yeah.
because I saw you uploaded a status. I mean, it wasn't any time recently. Were you
Yeah.
like, still no label, still.
oh yeah, oh no,
You
it's
were
getting to
sounding
me.
just a bit unhappy.
Yeah, it
about
was
life.
fucking shit was getting to me at that stage.
Yeah.
big time.
See, people follow you, bro.
Like shit. No. Well, okay. I guess this will all kind of loop around. I guess
Yeah.
tie into each other. But yeah, on the thing you were saying with that, the first thing to note is this. It's like when I think it was still counted for up to when Red Helen's year, when they still did it. Previously, when you played the Wacken Metal Battle and you won it in Wacken, what you would get is you'd get the money that like we got, you'd get the gear that we got,
And wouldn't you get a record deal?
and you would get a 1-year record deal with Nuclear Blast Europe. Okay.
A nuclear blast, dude.
Yeah. So it's like that's your foot in the door as much as you can get a foot in the door. So just as it like, this is just like the fucking, this is so hard to explain to people because I know, give it a few podcast appearances and you guys will get it. But for now, I might sound ungrateful and it'll just have to be
No,
that way.
dude. And there's no judgment in what you're gonna say or anything like that.
Yeah, but
dude.
it's just like that like this, the thing with Zom is it like and it's been like it's been our strength and it's been fucking tough, is that like it feels like every single gain we've made, we had to like fight tooth and nail to get there. It's like, I'll put it to like just as a small thing to sort of describe like this, how it feels for us is it's like, we would do things like you'd go and fucking, you would never get selected to play at Ramfest, like ever, right? And then you go to Wacken, and it's like, and then all of a sudden Infanteria is playing at Ramfest. So to me, it was like, and people are like, oh, this is really great, And I'm like, yeah, it is great, but you also got to look at it like this, right? We've been doing this shit just as long as those dudes. We literally had to go to the other side of the fucking globe to prove to people that we deserve a stage at home. Like, and it's like that kind of.
Sure, I've never looked
Yeah,
at it that way.
just a tactic, yeah.
That makes it depressing as well. And like, it was also like the thing of like you play Wacken, right? You win Wacken, like with Zombies.
Fuck!
You
win Wacken!
Like
What?
You win the whole shit like that you didn't even think would be possible. It's like we don't come from like a group of guys that's like, we've always won the competitions and blah, blah, you know?
Yeah.
We went there knowing that like, we stand a good, like I said to the guys, because Chris and I had already seen what happens before the time. Like we'd already seen with Terria. And like the one thing that I was going to say earlier, like with Terria was like when we went there, the thing that struck me the most was like looking at all these other bands from these other countries, like these battle bands, right? And realizing, and I don't mean this bad, man, like realizing like, man, that this ain't shit. Like this is, we got this. Like, you know, I've seen this at home.
Yeah.
Like this is what this, I know these bands, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so like we looked at it like that, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, holy shit. Like, you know, we could, you know, if we had another chance, we could win this motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, so then it was like, then we almost didn't enter the battle again.
Fool me once.
Yeah.
Fool me twice.
And then it was just like we said, like I think that was the step that Zom took that like led to all our success, was we just said to ourselves, we said, you know what? Like, fuck our pride. Like, the only reason we wouldn't want to enter this is because you're scared of losing. And you're scared that like you're going to lose, and then what? You know, it's like, we're like, well, fuck that. Like, let's just go for it, because if we lose, nothing changes. But if we win, bro, we get to go to Wacken again.
Maybe
Yeah,
that was
totally.
the law
You
of
know?
attraction that you
Like,
guys were applying.
Yeah, and
Like,
it's
if
like,
you watch The Secret, fuck it, we're going to go there, we're going to win it. The law of attraction doesn't
But
matter, who cares?
even
best
on
mindset
even on,
to have that as
even
well,
on the
so,
fucking documentary, dude. It's like I laugh, but it's like we joked around about before we left. We were very serious about like we're
So,
going.
did you say documentary? Which documentary are you referring to?
Well, there's a Life of Zom that we did.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's-
I do want to touch on the life of Zom, but yeah, carry on. So,
Yeah, it was sort of, we documented the whole Wacken thing.
Yes.
Obviously, we could have never known we were going to win it.
Yes.
Great fucking documentary.
Yeah, 100%.
It had a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
ending.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But it's like, so you know, so we went there and then we did that, and we thought like we stood a really good chance of like coming in the top 5, because we were just like, we're not fucking idiots. We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
know
sure.
we had a good show.
Yeah.
It was like we had the little bit of luck involved in us winning it was this. You can't control your time slot, and that has a lot to do with it. And I'm going to tell you exactly why.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I told this to Gallows as well. I think I spoke to Ray before they left at some point. But anyways, like it doesn't matter because you can't control this factor.
Yeah.
It's like, so the
Well, they had a fucking killer set though. Jesus.
Well, this is the thing. It's like you can't control your time slot, and your time slot means a lot to where you're going to get, because I'll put it to you this way. Every single fucking country that goes there like has like a Sash or a Louis Dupe or whoever the fuck that goes with them, okay? They are a judge for the big competition. You can't vote for your own country, obviously, you know?
Yes.
So to mitigate that. And I just knew that like we were the last band playing on that stage before like the day just starts continuing, and in a few hours time Black Dahlia's,
And you just killed it.
Black Dahlia's there.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Like fucking dude. So I knew that
Okay,
like
I didn't know that. Sorry, I didn't
You
know
checked?
that you were the last.
we were the
Neither
last
did I. Okay.
we were the last one.
is-
So,
Wow. Okay,
so
so
I-
you left a lasting impression, obviously.
So I fucking knew like what's gonna happen here is look, no disrespect to some of the judges. Like some of the judges are gonna go there and they're gonna party, man.
Yes.
Now they're gonna feel guilty about partying over 2 days of where they're supposed to be watching bands from fucking third world countries mostly. You know? Like so it's like it's not the most enthralling job as well.
Yeah.
All right? Like some bands are gonna be good and some bands are gonna be shit. So they're gonna be out there partying, but they're gonna think to themselves, you know what? So that all the other judges like see me doing my job, we're gonna go watch the last 2 bands. So like I know the last.
Oh fuck! So you're saying some of the judges didn't even watch some of the bands?
Well, it's impossible to watch that many bands over 2 days.
Isn't it 30?
That's fucking heavy, dude. Like
That's a lot, yeah,
just
I'm sure.
constantly, you know, like the whole time.
Only 30, he says.
Yeah, that's a lot of bands, bro. And so I know they're going to skip out on that. So, and it did sort of turn out like that. I know that like half of the bands when they vote, they wouldn't have even seen them.
Yeah.
So they don't know. So it just comes down to like, oh, they remember seeing that band. They remember having a good
they're
time.
going to give them a
There
chop.
you go.
Yeah.
And it's like, so that, and we went out there and we had a fucking great show. You know, not the tightest or best show we've ever played, like by no means, but like I think the thing was just that we took it.
Well,
like
I saw the footage. I think it was pretty tight.
like we took the moment. Like we felt like, okay, like, you know, you're never going to play in front of fucking, what is this, like 12,000 people
Yeah.
again. Like
Yeah.
it was like to the back of the tent that
Yeah.
you can't even see.
I must say, Gavin did a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
there.
like shit like that, you know?
But-
No, because like the only shit I've, biggest crowds I've ever played in my life was Infanteria Wacken. Wacken is the biggest one we've ever played. And then after that was like doing New Year's Resonance, fucking Psytrance and shit. Like we headlined New Year's the one night on midnight. As like the countdown goes, we start our set.
We as in who?
Super Evil.
Okay, yeah, that's not
and it's like that as well. Like I remember like seeing that size of that crowd, like walking onto the stage to start putting my gear down and stuff. And the previous guys are playing, and everyone's fucking partying, and you look up and and I saw that like crowd, and I was like. For the first time, like ever,
Wow.
I was like, "Wow, that's heavy, that one, dude." And then, like, you got to entertain all these people.
Yeah,
now.
So, I mean, are you kind of almost saying that if you were playing like one of the first slots on the first day, that it's
It's
very
over
good
for you.
likely that you
It's
wouldn't
over
have.
for you,
So
yeah.
you like you guys zombies wouldn't have won.
You might
more than likely.
Maybe the first ones, you'd stand a good chance still because it's the first ones. So it's like I assume a lot of judges will start watching, and as it goes on, they will start moving to the bars and.
Jeez. And this is coming from the winning, like.
So these are the factors. But then as well, at the end of the day, where it's like, I mean, you'd have to ask Louis Dupisani about this because he would have been more privy to what is happening behind the scenes. But from what he told us and all this shit is like, we also didn't just win. We like unanimously won.
Yeah.
Like almost like fucking, like, but like the thing that made that so crazy for us was just like that. We're like our whole lives like done this metal thing. I'm sure a lot of you guys like feel the same kind of thing. It's like you've done metal. It's not exactly the attractive kind of thing for you, like your parents to think that you're doing that. You want to go and waste your fucking time and money on.
Yeah.
And people around you that care about you that have like told you the truth, like don't leave this shit.
Yeah.
And you just carried on and the sacrifices and all this crap. And so it's like when we actually won that's why like all 5 of us, we just started fucking crying like babies. Because it just felt like it was like, wow, like, we've been trying so hard to like get this feeling at home. Like we've been trying so hard to like to just like be the band that's good enough for like people to fucking like that much.
Yes, yeah.
And you just like, it's at home and it's a small scene, and it's complicated, whatever. But and then just doing that, it was just, man, it just felt like, just like this thing, just like washed over you, and you're just like, oh my God, like, God.
One of the best moments of your life.
Yeah,
surely.
like it's up there with like, becoming a fucking father, basically. It's like, one
I
of
must
the
say,
greatest things.
congratulations. I mean, I know your son's grown up a bit, but congratulations on recently tying the knot, dude.
Yes. Oh, thank you, dude. Yeah,
Sure.
That was 9 years coming.
Yeah, sure. Well, congratulations. I mean, that's awesome.
We're a 2010 couple. We were wrapped up in the
World Cup.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the World Cup.
Soccer World Cup.
Oh, there's going to be investment. Everything's going to work out fine. Fucking hell. Yeah. And here we are today.
But tell me, you were mentioning something earlier, and listen, I don't want to take this like to a new dimension, but
let's go there.
But you were saying, South Africa. Your name's Adriano Rodrigues. Are
Yeah.
you not?
Oh yeah.
Are you not
I don't sound
a
South African,
citizen,
man.
or do you not have a passport of a foreign country?
Kind of and kind of not.
Okay.
It's tricky to answer that one.
Yeah, well, okay, we don't have to get into it. I'm just saying.
No, but
like,
I'm-
have you ever thought of just packing up and moving overseas because you've got the talent, you've got everything,
I'll be honest with you. It's like
but your Zom's your family, dude, as well, and Terrier and everyone.
I know it's. This is the thing. It's a tough one, man. It's
Listen,
like,
I was just, and I need to say this. I was just referring to a certain moment in like a long time ago that we were chatting. I mean, like literally almost an hour ago, where you were saying,
Sorry.
this. No. Listen, we got all the time in the world. But there was a moment where you're like, okay, maybe I should take this thing overseas.
Oh, yeah. It's fucking life, eh? What a son of a bitch. It's
Yeah.
timing is everything, man.
Yeah.
Like everything it's fucking everything. Yeah, it just didn't work out. That it's like we're kind of at this weird point with the band now. We are sort of in the midst of crossing this bridge right now. And I know this is like a very. I don't mean this. I feel comfortable talking about it.
sure.
I just mean I know for a lot of people this is a very personal topic for them. So if I piss you off, then oh well.
No,
But it's
all
just
good.
like, it's yeah. I was always very hopeful about this country for like most of this decade.
Mm-hmm.
I think I in some ways drank the Kool-Aid on that front, and I don't feel that anymore. And like that sort of slowly got chipped away from me. It's like the majority of traveling I've done in my life, and it's not much, has come from doing music. I was lucky enough to travel a little bit with Super Evil. I was lucky enough to travel a little bit with Infanteria and Zombies. Yeah, I've gone on personal holiday here and there myself as well, but like mostly it's been that. And yeah, it just feels like, I don't know, that every single time that we've gone, I've never, no matter how much of an amazing time I've had, and you stand to always have an amazing time going with your fucking band to some foreign country,
Sure.
whether you're playing shit shows or great shows, you're having a good time. And it's like, I've never come back ever feeling like, you know what, fuck this place. Like, or any kind of like, I don't want to live in South Africa anymore, you know? And the last 2 times I went, like, well, this year, it pretty much broke me. Was going to London and then going to Portugal with my family a little while after that.
'Cause that's your roots, yeah?
Yeah. And then that just like, it just ended me. Because I came, like, I mean, Gav saw me after that. And he just could like see in my eyes like something had died. Like, was the look I had, you know, where I was just like, yeah. You know, he just looked at me and I was like, Jesus. And I was like, fuck.
Going through a bit of a rough
I was
patch.
like, shit, I can't hide it, huh?
Yeah. Shame.
Yeah, and like it's reached that point now where I'm just like, it's tough. It's very complicated for me to leave the country at this point. I would love to. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, but like I kind of can't, and it's of my own making because, like, you know, having the family and things makes it a bit more complicated now. But yeah, with some as well, I've also sort of taken the look that it's like, fuck, this one's quite a lot to unpack. It's like,
Sure.
it's,
Okay.
yeah,
We're talking about the Zom, the you.
Yeah.
You were unpacking a bunch for us. Do you remember what we were talking about? It hasn't been long. About the possibility of going
that
overseas
kind
and
of
all
thing,
that kind
yeah.
of stuff. And then you were speaking to Chris.
Oh yes, no, so I was just gonna say it's like I guess the thing is, I don't know. Lately, I've been seeing it's like this. This is a long one. This fucking
I'm in, bro.
I don't know. Just me and my whack fucking theories about the music game. But anyways, it's like I think sometimes I've been thinking that there's like 2 ways to play this game.
Yeah.
Before I always thought there was just one way of playing this game, and I'm going to now term these things so that I don't have to fucking explain myself every time. All right, and people are going to have to get over their sensitivities. I'm going to call this the Volvo method. Okay.
Vulvodynia.
Yes.
All right.
And I'm going to.
Vagina method.
I'm going to. Sounds bad.
Yeah.
But like, and also I'm going to sort of tie that in with what I would sort of call the Metallica method. It's
Okay.
like the winner takes all method. It has, you know, like, and I always thought, and it is true to an extent, and in much of the music game, it is like that. You're either here, all right, you're either Taylor Swift, or you're fucking nobody. Like, it's, and I know this is like it seems like a very fatalistic way of looking at it, and oh, it's just so negative, bro. But the thing is, what I'm getting at is, it's like, it's the illusion that like people have, like, because I noticed this with Zom as well. It was like after we had won Wacken and all these things, right? Started to like pick up like this new kind of nastiness that was like people thinking that we've made it, whatever the fuck that means. And it's like, and I'm like, no, I'm still a financial failure. My life is a absolute fuck up. Like, you know, it's like I made a bad career choice. Like, it's like, it totally is that, you know, it's the cliched musician story, you know? But people think like, you know, oh, now they're riding fucking limos or some shit. I don't know what the fuck they think. But anyways, they think you've made it. But now there is like a bit of truth to that. It's like, I look at like, say, like a band like Vulvodynia, okay? Vulvodynia, and I think this is a mistake that I think a lot of younger bands are making now. I don't think they're making it. Let's get that clear.
I mean, they're just about to break Asia and Australia.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's like this is my thing. Is it's like a lot of other sort of up and comings look at Volvo and they think, oh, that's what we do. And I'm here to tell you that, like, if you haven't done it already, it's not you, and you're never gonna do it. Like in other words, if you're not Volvo, it's not you, pal, because it's Volvo. Like, this is what people don't get, is like that. You see, Volvodinia is the age of the new kind of music that's coming out in the metal scene. They are the age of the people who listen to that music. They are that music. Like this, like slam brutal death metal, whatever the fuck moniker you want to give it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like the mumble rap equivalent in metal of the younger generation. They even share the same aesthetic. It's like those bands, those like sort of pack leader bands that like Volvodinia is creating a subgenre. They're not following like some kind of lead from someone else. I always look at it like this in the music game. It's like you're going to have these genre-defining bands and then everyone else trying to be like that. You know, so it's like take Black Dahlia, for example. It's like you get Black Dahlia. It's like very genre-defining, that kind of like death metal, you know? Like, and then every other band that tried to sound like Black Dahlia, but no one fucking knows who they are now.
Yeah.
Like, look at Korn and all this like new metal bands when that time came around.
Yeah.
Korn, Deftones, Limp Bizkit, and all the other bands that were trying to do new metal. You can go on and on and on with this. Metallica, fucking Slayer from thrash metal, all this shit.
Yeah.
So I look at Volvo as that. Like they are that thing. I'm not saying it's purely luck. There is luck involved.
Listen, obviously Chris is Xenopoulos, for instance. I saw one of his interviews with. They just posted it up, and he was in Germany or something, and some guy interviewed him, and they were like passing the thing, and he had some crazy things to say. I mean, really, it's like some things that I wouldn't even consider. You know, really thinking out the box, but also they're a lot younger than us, eh?
Yeah. But this is my thing. It's just that it's that, you see, they are that thing. So it's like they came around at the right time. It's like right place, right time. It's not to say they aren't talented. Of course they're talented.
Jesus,
but something I have to get across to people is that talent is not the fucking... Talent is the entry fee to getting into the it's not even the entry fee to get into the club. Talent is like your position in the queue to get into the club. Like, that's what talent is now. There's so many people doing this. You don't mean shit. Like, and that's what I mean where the luck comes in. Like, that there is luck involved in these things. Like, you know, and a lot of people don't want to admit that because it's like, oh, what are you saying? Like, I didn't work hard for what I got. Yeah, you did. But it's like, let's pose the question this way rather. When you see someone that you know, like doesn't work quantifiably as hard as you do, right? Yet they gain something that you don't gain. It's like you look at that person and then you go like, you can't look at them and then say like, the reason they got that thing is because they worked harder than me. Like, you know that's not true. Like, the reason that they got that thing, there was a bit of luck involved there, wasn't there?
Of course, yeah.
It's like you both had to work hard to like play the game. But at the end of the day, a lot of, especially in something like music, like as subjective as art, it's neither here nor there what's good and what's bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's someone just deciding, I am the judge of such things, and I say you are good or bad.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
You know, and so it's like, I look at like Volvo's that one method. Now, like but you have so little control over that. And that was the method that I was trying for the longest time. I was like trying to do this thing where I was like, you know, you got to break big. You know, you got to break big. Volvo has broken big. From yes, they've worked hard. Yes, they've gone on tour. But like, what you need to understand
Aren't they
about
running like their own merch stores and stuff like that as well?
but what you need to, I don't know. I mean, I assume as most bands, they sell their own merch.
Yeah.
I think that a fucking merch supply they do sell through is basically
His big cartel.
is Duncan. That's, you know, as far as I know. Well, from what I can gather. I mean, you know, I don't know. But it's just that, like, that you get that. And then I see a lot of people sort of looking at that, like, now you're going to, and you will see it. You're going to see all the Volvo babies. Like, where everyone's now going to try and impersonate Volvo. Like, and I'm already seeing it. Like, and it's like the thing that you can't stress enough to them is just that it's like, dudes, That's Volvo's ticket. That ain't your ticket.
Yeah.
Like, it's just never, like, you are guaranteed to fail walking that path because you're trying to walk someone else's path now, bro. It's like, so I look at it like this. Now, fortunately, this is where being in the metal scene plays to your advantage. If you were, you're going to hate me now. If you're in the rock scene, all right, and you are like coming into your 30s, it's over for you, son. Like, if you're in any of these more mainstream, like, appealing kind of music genres, and you are not young and attractive, it is over for you, son.
You believe that?
Like, I believe that.
Seriously?
In the mainstream.
Yeah, okay,
in the
mainstream. Yeah, I understand the mainstream, yeah.
In metal, it don't matter. Like, that's the trick with metal. It don't matter. The older, the fucking uglier, the more out of shape you are, no one gives a
fuck, I'm winning there,
But
baby.
you know what I'm saying? Like, no one gives a fuck, bro.
Yeah.
So long as your chops are solid and you've laid the work down to, like, be in the metal church, like, then that's it. Like, no one cares. There's no time limit on, like, oh, look at that old fuck. It's over for him.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
they just, if the old fuck decides to keep going, people will keep, like, listening.
Yeah.
It's like, and you only get that in metal. It's like another thing that they were sort of saying. I mean, this is to the side of that, but just like touching on, like,
Fuck,
sort
the
of.
one thing I must say, sorry to interrupt you, is you're fucking convincing, dude.
Well, I've thought about these things.
Yeah, you're fucking
like-
convincing. You very, you say everything you do with such conviction. It's like, I'm like, yes.
I think, like,
I'm going to be spending you so much shit.
Like, I think also, like, especially with metal, and like, I totally agree with people trying to copy all these genres, but up until the late 90s, you only had something like, you had your thrash was Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer.
Yeah.
I
Very few genres.
okay, yes, there were like a couple of more, but they were all pretty big.
Yeah.
Then everyone tried to copy them.
Yeah.
And then some of those bands, like the second tier, would make it semi-big.
Mid-tier
and then
bands.
and then it started going all the way through to the 90s to the early 2000s, and now you got all these subgenres that as soon as you create a subgenre, cool,
Yeah.
you'll be up on top.
Yeah.
And everyone and then you have all these tree-like followers that are trying to and you go, now you're dealing with, I mean,
Dude,
I would say, okay, maybe not
Probably
a
into
million,
the
but
hundreds
you're
of
talking about
thousands.
hundreds of
Jeez,
thousands of bands
Yeah,
that you're trying
you
to
could
compete
say
with.
that, I'm sure.
And I go, no, like you just,
It's
you're not.
saturated. It is,
Don't
like-
compete with someone else. Try and create your own thing.
Also,
No,
with the world
you-
of digital
exactly.
Spotify
Yeah, exactly.
and all that kind of shit.
But here is the sort of the I don't know, the caveat or whatever
The crux.
to that is that, okay, if you do the Volvo method, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're like, I mean, I'm telling you, you're not gonna get it, like, going that way. But say you just, he's wrong, I'm gonna do it anyways, and you do that, right? And you're basically this Volvo baby. You're going to achieve. You're going to achieve like this false sense of success while that period is happening, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like that's the thing. People are so hungry for it. They obviously Volvo, but then when they can't get Volvo, they'll eat up any other shit as well,
So explain this to
Yeah.
me. You've got Volvo, which is the main entity in terms of the slam, and they've done their
Well,
thing.
it's the
then you've got
biggest metal
Zavleg.
band out of here.
Then you got Zavleg.
Yeah.
Same Duncan, Bentley, Chris. Then
Yeah.
you got Lawande, Prusent. Then I don't know, Thomas is the drummer there, but you've got Volvo, and then you got Zavleg, which is kind of like a parody kind of situation.
Yeah.
Also the same guys, and then you got Human Error,
Yeah.
where Luke Harhoff and all those dudes
They got
are
a lot of
involved over the
projects,
Yeah, but I mean, how does that work in terms of you guys are trying to do the same kind of similar thing? Because it all does sound kind of similar.
Well, I
to
think
me,
that
at
they're
least.
just extremely prolific young guys at this point
and
now.
they can just do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah, it's also that kind of. I mean, like that's from. I mean, you'd have to ask them, but from what I can tell, that seems like that's always been their game. They had a lot of projects at the same time
Yeah,
that
I
Volvo
suppose,
started,
yeah.
and in many ways can be the. I assume can be the gamble. I mean, I took a smaller degree gamble of that, like by even just. When I joined Teria.
Yeah.
I mean, it paid off because I was like, fuck, went to Wacken twice. I had no idea when I joined Teria that was the setup,
Yeah.
But it's, Yeah.
But I'm just talking in terms of that argument of like, don't follow the other guys and all that kind of stuff. But you've
Oh,
got
but
four
they
guys
are-
doing the same thing
Yeah, but
in
they
four
are
different
but
entities.
that's a different comparison because
they're the people that
they
you're
are the
doing
guys.
it. Yeah, yeah.
They're still in
Okay,
Velma,
no, that's
like,
a true
I was
point.
gonna say, it's
I
like-
just
it's-
wanted to tackle that.
yeah,
It's
but
like going Pantera, then it goes Super Joint Ritual, and then Damage Plan.
Hell yeah, and all
and
that
yeah,
shit.
yeah, and straight away, those
Yeah.
bands are going to be big.
Yeah,
straight
yeah,
away.
100%.
No,
But
exactly, yeah.
not as big as Pantera.
Fuck, this
or,
might not
you
be
know,
one of
yeah,
those
yeah.
Or it's
conversations
Volvo.
I've
Yeah.
had on this podcast.
But you
I
but you
love it.
see, so it's like with them, it's like you'll get a little bit of the I call it like, people trying to get your shine. It's like they're trying to get a bit of that shine off you, and you'll get a bit of their shine. But once that fad moves on to the next thing, right? And then it just becomes another subgenre of metal, like it doesn't disappear. It stays there.
Sure.
Then the only ones who survive that are the creators of it. So Volvo will be fine.
Yes.
And all the little babies they created will just fucking die.
Okay.
Because it's like there's nothing for you there, bro. But now on the others, but you can, I'd say if you like want to pursue bands as a hobby, that's the best way to go. Do that. If you want to pursue bands to try and, like what I would term, add something to the historical record that is metal and try to improve. And what I believe is like the essence of metal is to try and improve on the idea of metal with every generation and, carry on with it. Like you could only be so lucky to add something to it that affects everyone, And it's like, you can play that game too, which is the game that I know a lot of people will be surprised to think that like that's how I view Zom, because for some reason people see us as metalcore. I've never seen that, but like it's
I've seen that you have been referred to as metalcore.
always as metalcore. We've won awards for
But
metal.
what would you say it is?
I don't. It's just metal for me. I know every
I agree.
fucking stupid
Fuck
band.
genres, bro.
I know, but I mean, like I'm fine with the genre, and like for the longest time, it actually annoyed me that I couldn't have a plain genre to
It's
just
thrashcore.
But that
No, but
No,
Zom's not.
I'm
but
joking, man.
it's
I was
more
just,
deathcore
I was
than
just trying to cause
yeah,
cuck
but you
here,
see, and then
man.
that as well. Like, but it's like
I don't mean to pronounce, but I mean like if it's
No,
it's more deathcore than metalcore.
I was just causing cuck, okay?
No,
it's
shut
fine.
up.
It's fine. But I just like. But that's the other gamble. If you play that I'm gonna try and do my own thing as well instead of just being like a genre baby, then you.
A genre, baby. I like that one.
It's hard because like you're gonna see your fucking ass a lot
Yeah.
because you're not gonna be playing to a already pre-tailored crowd. Okay, it's like if you want to say like now like this slam death thing, right? There's a crowd for that.
Yeah.
You just got to be playing the right stuff,
Yes.
and you can get them. It's like I still don't think you're gonna get like Volvo, but like
Yeah.
you can get that little bit that's there for you. But if you're like just doing your own thing and it doesn't fall in this or that, and then we sit here and have a conversation and we all three say a different thing what the band is,
Yeah.
you're fucked.
Sure.
It's like Zom then. Then you're sitting in that position where it's like it's either gonna work or none of it's gonna work.
Okay, so speaking of which, dude,
Yeah.
what's the plan? What's the plan?
With what? Zom.
Zom. I'm concentrating on Zom because I feel
Moving
like
forward.
I'm gonna have you back with Terrier. So
And everything. I'll probably let Chris do that.
I want you back for Nanobots as well. To be honest with you.
Fuck, bro, just have me back for me.
Yeah, well, no, I mean-
that to me is a
I just wanted to-
that is
there's
a project not even worth discussing.
Yeah,
It's
but
such a
there's
failure.
but there's lots to talk about.
Apparently
You know what I
not if it was your third biggest crowd that you've ever played to.
No,
so.
mean? No,
No,
he's
not
talking.
that.
That's super evil.
Oh, that was
He's
Super Evil,
talking
sorry.
about
That
Nanobots.
was-
He's a
that was
gamer as
great.
well.
Well, yeah. Well, how about Super Evil? Yeah, it's a comeback here.
Ooh,
Oh,
you
we've
never
tried
know.
that a few times.
Is it?
That's why I've got a guitar. I'm trying to
I can
sell
hook you up
stuff.
with some DJs that'll love some.
No, I know, but I only go with that guy.
Okay, well that's
my boy.
that's fair play.
I ain't for sale, motherfuckers.
So what's the plan, Adriano, dude?
Zombies moving forward now.
Haven't you got 2 shows at the end of the year?
Yes.
Yes.
We've got to plug that, I guess. The 6th and the
Yeah.
the 6th and the 7th of December.
Okay,
I don't know when this is coming out, but that's when that's happening. Friday and Saturday, we fucking
that's
got-
next week, dude.
Yeah, next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm gonna have to, wait.
It's like a, I mean, it's like a,
I'm gonna have to put this out before the fucking shows.
you won't do it, bro.
I will.
You won't do
I'll
it.
do this by Thursday.
Well,
bitch.
we'll find out. Let's
No,
see.
let's
he
do it.
will.
I'm gonna have to do 2 episodes in 1 week just because I gotta promote Zombies.
Yeah, help me
next-
plug, bro. Fuck.
Okay,
Help
okay,
man
all
eat.
right. Okay, I'll try
But
and get
it's-
this out as soon as possible.
It's that like we basically we usually roll alone, and then on this one we decided let's try to do something with other people.
Yeah.
So we hooked up with Deadline because we've
Yeah, you've got a good relationship with those
We
dudes.
spent some time with the boys already.
Jesse Switchblade, baby.
And I really love that fucking band, eh? Like I love that band. Like when
But
they play.
Infanteria play like the thrash kind of vibe.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
but they have more that
They've
power
got the gusto.
metal-y kind of vibe. And I don't know,
Love
I dig it. Like
Hate City thrash, baby.
yeah, for me it's very important. Like when I'm more concerned that like you make me believe that you believe what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So it's like a lot of times people be quite surprised at the bands I like in the local scene. Is they're like, really, you like that band? And I'm like, yeah, because when I see that motherfucker take the mic, I can see how serious he is about what he's doing.
Yeah, 100%. Dude.
He really
Performance, yeah.
You know, maybe I might look at maybe the music's still a bit and needs to go somewhere still. You know, like it's a bit underdeveloped on that side or whatever. But like I can see that in their eyes. It's like
we mean business, dude.
they believe this shit.
100%.
So it's like when they're singing this cheesy.
Belief is everything, as far as
so it's like you can even sing that cheesy, like the power of metal shit. But if you're singing it in a way that I'm like, this motherfucker believes this
this
power
motherfucker
of metal
bro.
shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, then I'm on board with you. Like,
100%.
You know? So, like, with them, and then, I mean, there's lots of bands that we like, but, like, obviously, you know, we're quite close with Nate. So, you know, we want to do fucking End the Year off with his band.
Raksha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Raksha, and then fucking Peasant. I've always been a fan of Peasant. You know? Yeah, I've got...
Rocking the Pez merch, baby.
It's a Just shirt that...
such a Just
the only band brave enough to sell yellow. Fuck
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Hey, listen,
Cred.
and the only man brave enough to wear it.
I did a red shirt once. I regretted that.
Oh, no. Hey, listen, but...
That's
you look-
metal, bro.
Just while we're
You're
here,
looking a bit yellow though, bro.
You guys included us in 3 of your major bills that you've done in the last
Yeah, I
3
know.
years.
It's fucking...
And I just want to say,
It's
dude, I really appreciate
weird. It worked out weird
It
like
really
that.
worked
Yeah.
out really well. You guys did the Batteria the Emissary, Zom, and then you invited
that
us.
was the other one,
That was
yeah,
the first.
okay.
That was
Yeah.
the first one. Then we sent you off
I
to
remember
Germany.
too. Yeah.
It was just us and you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are
And-
so kind that
yeah.
you sent them off, eh?
Well, they obviously saw something.
Dude, no one... When we fucking went, no one even rated. I'm telling you. You go onto Instagram. Just go and look at the posts of, like, Zom, of us like, hey, we're leaving, we're going now. Yeah. And it's like, bro, less than your dog gives a fuck.
Is it, eh?
Like, and then it's just like a few days later, like, we won.
Yeah. Well, I was a part of your send-off show. That shirt, I've got that round shirt.
Yeah,
with
that
the
fucking...
illustration.
Yeah.
I wanna ask something because I know that you're gonna. You brought it up earlier, and actually, it was a thing that I wanted to ask before we even started this.
Sure.
Speaking about merch and clothes and stuff like that, your stage dress.
Oh,
Why don't you
So
a little harder there, brother?
okay, so
how much of it
you are always
I done.
dressed in white. Chris is always dressed in black.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
like...
yes.
Your
yeah, we didn't even
drummer
tackle that.
is
We're the checkers board of life.
yeah. So I'm like,
Yeah.
but I mean, is it like what is it like
But now
a
he's
good
in the
evil?
African
Okay, so-
traditional jersey.
yeah, but then your
Fucking
drummer is
only
always
Oak
as
to
a
notice,
priest.
Thanks, fuck.
So I mean,
Really?
there must be something
People
about
don't
that.
notice shit,
Oh,
man.
shit. Yeah, no, he's changed.
No,
He's
it's,
he went from the general's outfit.
Oh no, I saw
Yeah.
no,
like
no,
that.
and then he went
And then
African.
he went now traditional.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
Yes.
no,
We
I've
went
seen
with
that.
deeds.
Yes.
But you're still white.
It's a
and Chris is
statement
still
on,
black.
on our views of South Africa and what we think South Africa should be.
Good, evil,
So,
and,
take
and
that.
where does
Anyways.
the priest fit in there?
No, okay, like at first,
Oh, that's Faraday, yeah.
it was more just shock factor when it started. I know this sounds like, but like, you know, it's silly now. But,
Well, it goes with the name.
well, it was like when we start, like I wanted to wear the full white thing. Like everyone always, I know people come to me, there was like a Clockwork Orange and shit. And I'm just like, I didn't think of that. Fuck. but it was more just like that no one wears white, that you always wear black when
Yeah.
you like
Yeah,
try to
yeah,
show
yeah,
that
yeah,
you...
yeah.
And I was one of these little fucking cocky shits that thought like, oh, I'm too cool to like identify as a metalhead. Like that's a story for another day.
Yeah, sure.
Because now I'm all about the metal horns and the cheesy shit and metal shirts and all that crap. I love it. But yeah, so it was just kind of that kind of like, you know, fuck it, wear like a white shirt. And then like, that's when my cousin was in the band. Then he like used to parade around.
He used to in the girl's outfit. In
It's
the
like a
maid's
nurse-
outfit.
now my wife, it was a dress of hers. Like
Oh,
at
okay,
stage
yeah.
back then.
No, I saw them,
Yeah.
and he wore a bandana, sweatband.
Yeah, and then, you know, fucking Louis had the white as well.
Yes.
And then that's kind of why Chris wore the black, because like when Louis left, and then
Like yin and yang
Chris was
kind
like,
of
what am
thing.
I going to wear? And shit, do I just wear the white again? And I was like, no, fucking change your shit up, Rick.
Okay.
The-
Well,
the-
it is
the
kind of
white
nice
shit,
to
that's
have
my
one guy
shit.
in white, and then you've got
Yeah, I was
everybody's
like-
got their own identity.
Well, aesthetically, I was like, yeah, I
Mark's
didn't want...
got the Mark doesn't wear a shirt.
Yeah, but it was always cool
It's true.
because
Mark doesn't wear a shirt, so Mark doesn't
I
wear a
know.
shirt. You wear the white. Chris
And
wears
you know
the
that's
black.
a thing.
Ferdi is the priest, and
But now
Yes.
he doesn't do the priest anymore.
yeah.
I always saw it as
we've
like
left
a,
that
Okay,
now.
but then
I always saw it as the
Gavin
good,
does
evil, and then there's the priest, and then
Gives
you
you
got
that
the
kind of
person in
vibe,
the middle.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it was like-
kind of worked.
I mean, a funny story about that thing that Gav used to wear.
We're gonna have to wrap this up or go on to another segment. Carry on.
No, it was just fucking. It was just that vibe of like. We first came from this. Now it's funny because the scene's actually totally done a 180 on this now. When Zom started, there was still very much this vibe of like. And I know some people do this, and I'm not knocking you. I know you kind of just like wear whatever the fuck you want on stage, right?
Well, yeah, I've gone more like Hawaiian shirt vibes now.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's like more just like you kind of wearing stuff that you would
I
wear.
wear my personality basically.
Yeah. So it's like, and I know a lot of metal bands do that, and that's great. Like, I'm not dissing that. But like, what I did find was back then, it was almost like just that, like just people like rocking up in like what they look like,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, fuck, I want to give like this added illusion of like you've come to see a show. So I want us to look like something, like,
Sure.
and we didn't know what,
Something
but like,
uniform.
yeah, just
that you will
something that it
always
was
see.
like, oh, they don't wear that in normal life.
Yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
but I didn't want to be too gimmicky as well and stuff like that. Although that's a massive gimmick already, so whatever. But it was
I
like
love
that
it,
kind
dude.
of thing.
I must
Yeah.
be honest.
But I mean,
it's something
it's-
that really gives it brings. It's something weird. It's something so small and something that maybe not a lot of people will pick up. But the thing is, it sticks in your brain. If you
Yeah.
see Gavin now after Shun the Reptile, it's almost like there's scales on a shirt.
Oh,
You know,
okay,
it's
yeah,
like-
yeah.
It's something that's attached to the album. Now I attach Shun the Reptile to that
that
Madiba,
era.
like
That's
kind of vibe.
That's the vibe we've gone for as well.
Well,
is
you
like,
sold me.
Yeah, we want
I'm in.
to. So you have each era sort
Exactly,
of
and
like,
he was
yeah.
the general with Retroside.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, that kind of
Okay,
vibe.
cool.
You know, like
I mean, I think it's you're playing music, and it's also you putting on a show, and I
That's
think
the
that
thing,
is
the
the whole
show
thing. It's
aspect,
like
yeah.
you're not just. Yes, I love the fact that like people like Gareth, or I mean, there's many other bands that would just play in what they normally wear, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're also putting on a show, which
Yeah.
is also great, like where people dress up. I mean, you can
sure.
go as Slipknot,
My
which
face
is a
is
whole
enough to laugh
other
at on stage.
aspect.
yeah,
but-
that's
that's
to
a
the
whole-
third
yeah,
degree. You
yeah.
know, but like that also like in the reverse of it, that's also why I wanted to do that because I was like, you know, the coolness of playing in your own clothes, like from a metal or rock perspective, it's kind of like we don't give a fuck. It's
Yeah.
like that rebellious attitude. It's great.
Yeah.
You know, that's the spirit of the music. But then I thought like, but that sort of only counts when there are a lot, like in the States and in the UK, that like that Pantera vibe of like, we don't give a fuck, this is how we look. That came out of a place of just coming out of hair metal, where like the whole thing was about
Listen,
being,
Pantera were hair metal.
yeah, that too. But I mean, that aside, like the whole thing came from them being contrived and fucking fluffy hair and lipstick and the whole shit. And then it made it that it was like to see a band come on with normal clothes
Yeah.
was like a big,
Yeah,
you know, fuck
exactly.
you,
Yeah,
you know. And
it was
I
a
thought,
statement in of itself.
yeah, and then I just kind of felt like I know a lot of bands in the country at that time. A lot of the bands in the country were sort of thinking that's what they were doing, but I looked at it like, yeah, but you didn't have the counterpoint in the beginning. So
Totally.
like your fuck you just kind of looks like you didn't put effort in.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's. Whereas now, I'm like, here's the out I'm giving myself. Is that sort of like, you know, I feel now in the metal scene, there seems to be a lot more bands now trying to look like something
Yes.
than bands who just go up on stage.
Yeah.
So now it almost gives the edge back to like the ones who just go on stage looking like how they look.
Like Reverse
Yeah.
the Sands, when they first came back, they started doing the whole neck.
Neck
Yeah, I
band.
remember at the battle
totally.
they did
Yeah.
that shit.
Dude,
yeah.
that looked fucking
Yeah, that's
rad.
good.
Anything as simple as that
Yeah.
even. It just adds this extra
Yeah.
little...
Fallen Prophets with the blood.
Yeah, that's
but
fucking commitment though.
Yes, that's commitment.
I'm like,
dude.
shit, I'm not willing to get
Dude,
that
have you
dirty
seen that
every
new
time.
video of theirs?
Yeah, fucking
it,
rad, eh?
Dude, it's
I've
damn
seen people
rad.
posting it. I
It's
haven't
damn
seen it
good.
yet.
And
though.
hey, you guys were involved in the recording of it. weren't
Oh
you?
yeah, well
Burning
Heinrich,
Tone,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, but you're
he's
still involved
recording
in
a
Burning
lot.
Tone, yeah?
Well, That's probably a whole separate podcast.
Yeah, we'll get to.
But just to say, I mean, I am, as much as being involved with Burning Tone is a thing.
Yes, yeah, sure.
It's more just a.
Okay.
It was always just sort of more of a collective of oaks who are just saying like, we're under this.
Kif, let's just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, like really.
Because that was Dual Line, then it was Dual, and then it went. Then Louis split, and then he went. You know, I know the whole thing because I started with Build Your Scene with Carl.
There you go.
After I got into Dual Records with Carl after Hammer the Masses and stuff the later, and then we tried to resurge the Dual Records thing, and then we turned Dual Records into Build Your Scene, and then Build Your Scene did a podcast. That's when I cut my teeth a little bit and was a co-host.
This is all the northern
Full
suburbs.
circles.
Like, there's a whole little history right there.
100%.
And then I know that like places like, I think where there's another big history, there's another different story to be told on the southern side of the N1.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know it. And I think that is something you'd probably get more from like your homies like Charles.
Yes, yeah.
Like I think and Kevin and these fucking guys, like they're more privy to like, and I saw more what happened on the north. And then as well, there's like this whole other thing of probably the best guy to speak to about that would be like Patrick.
Yeah.
Where there's this sort of Boerland,
North
like,
versus South
you know, with the
situation.
fucking Afrikaners and shit,
Yeah.
like in Somerset West and like, and it's like, it's so weird for me because like I came from that side.
Yeah.
So my mannerisms and things like that of almost like a lot in that same, like Patrick and I, like when we sit and sort of chat together, we fucking relate to so much. Like,
well, I can see the same with us as well. So there is a lot.
yeah, it's like, even though like, you know, we total different sides of the world, you know, where he was doing his thing and we were doing our thing and didn't know anyone existed.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then eventually all these things came to, I mean, it's fucking, it's great. We'd have like, that's also why I said to you in the beginning of this, it's really great that you're doing this because.
Thanks, man.
To add this, it sounds corny, but to add all of this to the historical record, like so that people know these things, so that there's like, it's important to build on like a bit of a history, and stuff, you know. And it's like
we're like building a little archive here, bro.
But it is, it's like this. People have to tell these stories. They have to like, you know. And I think everyone in the past has sort of sat around like maybe waiting for someone to do a documentary of sorts, I guess, you know. And I'm sure those will pop up.
It'll be like Joe Rogan when they do like UFC stuff and they take excerpts from my podcast.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, this
awesome.
format is so much better though.
Awesome.
Because you're gonna like, you can sit here with dudes who've seen this kind of shit.
Yeah.
You can get all the stories out of them, like to the point where like now we're sitting here talking about this crap, and we've you know we're still gonna feel like we haven't spoken about
Yeah, no, listen, we definitely.
hardly any of
Yeah,
them.
we still didn't even like touch on the whole
No,
Wacken, like your
exact-
experience at Wacken. It's like
Exactly,
that
we've
like
spoken
changed.
about it, and we haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like-
We've touched on it. We've moved to different areas.
No,
I
this-
love it. I
it's-
absolutely love
But
it.
there's like there is a very rich like history in the South African metal scene
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
Like
there is.
there is one. It's not all. You know, and it's kind of a great
And
time
it's nice
now.
to be a part of it.
Yeah, it is. It's like that's what I wanted to say as well. Like the sort of the positive, because I know when we were discussing Volvo earlier,
we were getting-
it was
yeah.
very maybe sort of. I mean, it
We're
doesn't.
getting to the realistic.
Yeah, it doesn't
situation.
sound fatalistic to me because I've had my heart broken so many times
Yeah.
by music that I just look at these things as like, oh, that's a problem. How do we fix it now?
Yes,
like
yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
affect me emotionally in that way anymore. And it's like as a survival technique.
Yeah.
But like I know that other people now will like maybe hear what I said about Volvo and think like, oh fuck, that bleaks me out. There's no point in trying, you know? And it's like there is a point in trying. Like
Don't try to do exactly what the other people are doing.
You don't
Make
have
it
to
unique.
just be the Volvo.
Yeah.
Like there is a whole mid-tier underneath that where there is a lot of value to be gained. Like from, so long as you don't have delusions of grandeur, so long as you understand what you're going to get out of this.
And it's easy to get delusions of grandeur early
so
on.
easy in this game.
Where you're like, oh my God, we've written the best set ever.
And you think people are going to care.
And think
Yeah.
people are going to be like, holy
Yeah.
shit. And then you play a couple of shows, albeit some of them may be big because you've booked a big show and all that kind of stuff. But that doesn't represent what you've done.
That as well. It's also I'd also say like take the time out to like stand on your own sometimes and take a loss. I know like we're probably about to do that now with the shows that we just plugged. So how's this for a plug? Like I'm saying, it's going to be bad. No, but it's like this is probably gonna because like the last run of shows that we just had now have been like biggish ones where we're playing with the international headliners.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a crowd. It's gonna be it's up to you. It's like the crowd's there. If the crowd doesn't respond, it's because you're shit.
Yeah.
Like sorry to say it, that's just it. Or at some occasions, just the wrong crowd for your ass, like your kind of music.
Yeah.
That happens.
I prefer
too.
the latter.
Yeah,
But,
that happens too. Whatever the case is, and it's like that can give you a false sense of like how well you think you're doing.
Sure.
Like you might think like, oh shit, look, we packed out Mercury. No, bro, you didn't pack out Mercury. Like you played a part in that.
Yeah.
But it's the other guys. That's why they came. So like, do you really want to know what you're made of, and like what your band's made of, what you can pull through a door?
Dude.
Do that. What we did like with you guys so many times.
Yes.
Go like, we're gonna get one band to like support. So just so it's not just us playing, just one band to open the evening. They're gonna do like a half an hour set, and completely normal. That's what openers do. And then we're going to come on after that, and we're going to play in excess of an hour.
Yeah.
Like, how much, I kind of, these days I look at it like this. I'm like, how much would you pay to go and see your favorite band or see your favorite band do an hour, or see your favorite like stand-up comedian do an hour, like of their finest shit, How much would you
comedy
pay?
is like my vibe, bro.
Yeah, and no, but there's so many parallels between that world and the music world, except that they are luckier than us because they are fucking one oak with a mic.
Yeah.
You have zero costs. You have zero costs,
no overheads.
motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No one else to pay, or maybe a manager, but besides that.
Yeah, just to pull off a metal show, man. It's like,
That's a very good point. And I, dude, I only released that other episode today with myself, Matt, and Jared.
I saw you. Yeah, I saw you put something up today.
And we covered a lot of the stuff, and we covered some negativity and like negative responses in the scene and all that kind of jazz. Where that is such a good point, dude. That is such a pertinent point, and I think everybody needs to just like take a minute and realize that organize your own show.
It's hard.
Organize your own show and get your own
See
support
what you're
act,
made of.
and let's see how it ends up.
And you'll be surprised, man. Like I'm telling you now, like you think like, oh, Zom, it's fine. It's not fine, bro.
Well, at least
we
they
will
booked
go.
Atlantic South because they felt we had a bit of pull, eh?
Do you know what I mean? It's like, and you take the band that you think they're gonna play a nice like show for you and stuff, like it's gonna be great, and like, but full on take it going like, this is our story.
Yeah.
Like we are the main pool here.
Yes, yeah.
Like you're giving an opportunity to the other band.
Yes.
Like that kind of thing. Pay them still, please. You
Yeah,
fucks.
yeah, for sure. You fucks.
And then, but yeah, you got to look at it like, and then we've always, like with Retro, it's like when we launched Retro, we could go to M4A, we could say like, hey guys, we want to launch our thing there. And they would probably be keen because like, shit, your album,
yeah, did
it's
well.
going to bring, people, all that, it works. So like, but I was like, no.
Also track record, Patient Zero, that did well, etc.
But that was our first one.
Yes,
So
but
it
I'm
was
saying
like,
the second one, it could be like,
Yeah,
you could
for
say,
that
listen,
they
let's
would.
do it, and they would be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
The first one was great.
Yeah. And then like on the second one, we were just like, no, but now we actually want to know, like, if it's just us, that's the only reason people are coming. Like, how much are they willing to pay to see us? And will they come to see us?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we were like, if we fail, then we fail, dude. And then we have to figure it out from there to like, how are we going to make this better? And it's like, we did fail. Like,
Well, did you?
Well, I put failure.
Just in terms of numbers financially, because
Well,
every single Zom show
made
that I've
money.
been a part of, you've made
Yeah.
money. Every single Zom show that I've been a part of, in terms of a active participant playing,
yeah.
it's probably been a very good show, because I mean the first one
Yeah,
was Betray the Emissary, the second one was sending you guys off to Germany, and I can't remember, there was a third one.
There was
that
another one. I
There
also
was
can't
another one,
fucking remember.
but I can't remember. But every single show was packed out.
Well, it's been good like that. Like, I don't know. Like we've been lucky, and we worked at building that kind of
Yes,
thing,
yeah.
But like, it's like I'd say this one for example. Now, this one we've taken a chance with, and we can see that it's like, okay, this is what it costs to bring a band here from Joburg, and for us to go there.
Yes,
And we did it as an experiment to like see if this is financially viable for us to keep doing it.
yes.
And we're going to answer that question on the 6th of December.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's so great that you guys are still taking those gambles, even though after all this conversation about, the doom and gloom and then also the positive side, it's so refreshing to know that you're still taking those risks.
well, yeah, within
Albeit
means.
they're not huge risks.
Within, look, we're gonna. I've always said this was and like I've taken a bit of a knock always for having this opinion, but I think mostly because people misunderstand me with this one is that like I've always been about the money, and I say that because like people are like, no, bro, you should do music for the for your soul and all.
That's something that I said last. So don't worry about the money, but
yeah,
it's something that needs to be taken into consideration
but look,
in hindsight.
you are right. Okay, it is about the music. All right,
Yes.
But I'm going to put it to you this way. All right, you love what you're doing. We
Yeah.
all love what we're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
That's why we're here. That's why we take these knocks. That's why we sacrifice. That's why we make these financial losses and keep going. We all. That shouldn't be a question that we're asking each other.
Yeah.
Do you really love doing this?
Yeah, sure.
We do. I'm here.
That goes without saying.
That should be the answer for you. So it's like, so then I look at it like, okay, well then it means that like, if you want to continue doing this thing that you say you love for the rest of your life, or until you physically can't anymore, then you need to make money, bro. You at the very least need to make it that it pays for itself. And that was always the goal for me with ZOM. That's a goal.
even.
Well, that's a goal that has always been a success for us. Was like from the beginning, I said like if we could just break even, that's great. And then the next one would be, can we now use this money to also break even, but also have enough money to keep making the next thing?
Yeah.
And we've done that. And so far, we've still done that. Like
Sure.
we're still able to we generate our own money. The band generates its own money. Like, so what I'm saying is like the at various times in ZOM's life, the entity that is like ZOM, the band, has sometimes had more money than any of its individual members have.
Yeah.
Like because we it's like it's the band's cash. We only use it for things like
Yes.
that. Eventually to get, you at the point now where it's like, okay, we're going to go play in Joburg. It's no like, all right, boys, this is how much the tickets cost. You're all going to have to take this out of your salaries now, like of your jobs.
Yeah.
And my experience that I've learned from being in bands for so many years is I'm like, well, that's a recipe for failure because what's going to happen there is in that person's personal life, they're not going to be
They're
able
going to get over the fact that they have to pay personal fees for their band.
Exactly. And then it starts becoming a thing that like sucks the life from you.
It needs to have a rolling kind of situation where you making the money for the band and you're spending money for the band at the same time.
And the band's generating it. And it's like, and I always said, and like this is a thing for the scene, like where it's like I've been heavy against this, and this is why you'll know. It's like I've always bands that have played with us in our own shows that we've hosted have always paid them.
Yes.
And the question of whether they're getting paid or not has never been whether we make a success. Whenever I've said I'm going to pay
you
a
get
band,
your money, baby.
I've committed to like I'll take that money out of my pocket.
Yeah, 100%.
Like if it doesn't work.
So
out.
you take you give yourself like surety on a personal basis.
Yeah, because I'm like you guys don't have to worry about that. This is not your gig.
yeah.
This is my gig. I need to make money.
I mean, I can know from experience that does not really always happen.
But now this is also the other thing. This is where like some guys, and I got to be very clear here. Like I have to make this distinction. Like people early in their careers when they do this, it's acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Later in your careers when you do this, you are the fucking aides of the scene.
Yeah.
Like taking free shows, playing for free. Like you fuck the game for everyone. You fuck the game.
You're setting a precedent.
Everyone.
No, it's
and I know a lot of
toxic.
I know a lot of guys who do this shit. And I won't out them. But there's a lot of guys like what annoys me is the top tier bands that do this. Because this is the thing. When you're starting out, you're trying to get your band into some circles or whatever, you might take a knock like that, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you this advice, all right? Like please take this advice. Never play for free.
Yeah.
Even if it's that situation, make a deal. Like this has happened to us with a big promoter in the scene, like already. Where like first time we dealt with them, they wanted us to play for free. And like it was such a scary moment for me because I was like, fuck, if we get in with these guys, this is gonna lead to a lot of nice gigs for
Precedent.
us,
Yeah.
But also, this is against my principle of like doing
totally. It's a power play. They just use it.
So I said to the guy, I was like, look, dude,
Since when has art been free?
we can't
Yeah, exactly.
we can't do that. Like I said to him, like, I really want to play your show. I really want to be a part of your show. I want to play it. We want to get involved, all of this shit, like want to be in with what you're doing. but I can't do that, bro. I can't play for free, dude.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's just
100%.
unacceptable.
No, I
and then he
completely-
actually, you know what happened? The dude actually played me. He played the game. He was like, oh well, that's fine. We'll just have to like look for a band who is willing to do that. And so then I said, I said like, you know, to play it nice in business, I just said like, well, you know, I wish you all best of luck finding that dude. If you have a change of heart or whatever, you know, please get hold of me at any time. Like, you know, want to do this, you know. But good luck, you know. And then a few weeks later, dude gets hold of me again. He's like, yo, we can give you this. It's pittance.
Yeah.
We can give you this, you know. So I'm like, I take it and I'm like, cool. I can take that. At least
That's
it's
the
something.
guys, yeah.
But like, still, we'll take this, but on condition of like, this is
not gonna happen
This
again.
is opening the door to future work.
Yeah.
Then I'll take it. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
they were like, oh, cool. And then we did. And then, funny enough, we
You got to approach it somewhat
But,
like
I mean,
it's
that's-
scary because, like, you as the band standing there, now you're the guy doing it, right? Your band's excited, all this shit, right? Now you're sitting there thinking, fuck, if I, you know, because for a moment there I thought I lost. Because he, like, said, like, we'll go look for someone else. And then you're like, fuck, it is going to be someone else now, you know, and you're not going to get
And
that. There you go.
90%
gonna
of the
eat you
time
alive.
is
It
that
is.
they're actually going to get a band that's going to play for
90%
free.
of the
Because
time,
they're
that
going to go,
story doesn't end like that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to actually get in with these people. Like, this is where from the
Well, you're
start,
the-
you just charge.
You're the promoter. You all have your own goals. Remember that. Like the band has its own goals. Promoters have their own goals. Sometimes they come into conflict with each other. That's fine. You just got to find a way to navigate that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, but it cannot fucking be a situation where like big bands are playing for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
that's
Because
true.
then you're like, dude, and I've like a lot of times with promoters, I've said like, I'm not looking for the kind of money from you guys that's going to sink your ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
I know that you guys need to survive.
Yeah.
For me to survive. Like you need to make money off throwing this show. Otherwise you're not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
And you don't do it. Where am I going to play? Like,
Jesus, we're gonna have to do an extension of this.
I just
motherfucking
go,
podcast,
at the end
bro.
of the day, it's like, it needs to be like a precedence. As soon as you start, like after a year, you charge this much. 2 years, I mean, I know that will never
Yeah.
happen.
It's difficult
but it
to
needs
do it
to,
like that, though.
yeah, because behind closed doors.
Yeah.
you
Or
know,
if
you
you
never
sell
know
out
what
so many
people are
people,
doing.
yeah, I know. But it's
Yeah.
like, if everyone did that, no band would be screwed.
For sure.
That's it.
Yeah,
But
within
Adrian-
reason.
Yeah, but
It's been great, though.
Before you, no. But what were you
Yeah.
gonna say first? I'm not gonna cut you off.
No, I was just saying it's you know within reason. Like we all got to work with each other and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like we've got
totally.
to figure out a way to make it fucking work. Like bands have got to be able to make money. I'm never gonna say, like that's why I do get annoyed with people that when you try to have this conversation, like publicly, say online or something,
Yes,
many
yeah.
times it just devolves into this like shit flinging fest again of like, oh, Adriano's a greedy money cunt. Like, do you know what I
Greedy
mean?
money cunt.
And it's like,
That
and
rolls off the tongue so
yeah,
well. Though.
and it's like it's not. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
no,
know, I'm
for
trying to
sure.
make it that like you know you shouldn't have to suffer like that. You know, like it's not right.
Trying to set an example, man.
Yeah, and it's not. It's like there has to be. There's a reason why your older bands disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Like that
totally.
they don't stay there.
Yeah.
You know, like and you that doesn't happen in the big metal scene. Does fucking like Black Sabbath get to a point where it's like they're too old and then they just like fuck off?
Yeah.
it
No,
like-
that's true.
The only reason
carry
they're
on.
still going is because they're getting paid so much. It's like, that's
They
it.
carry on going.
Yeah.
And it's funny, in our small little metal scene, like that's one thing we haven't, that's something I'm very interested in recently this year. I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm not totally ready to talk about it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's a good thing because
a good
our
thing,
battery's
probably,
about
yeah.
to run out.
All right.
But we got to wrap this up, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to
We're
do.
gonna have to do
no,
it.
we're gonna have to do a part 2, dude. Because,
We'll hook up again, dude.
because we didn't touch on Life of Zom documentary. We didn't touch on a lot of things.
Oh, we just keep
But
talking about everything forever.
Yes, but this has been great. I must admit, it's been phenomenal. I've loved
Thanks for
having you
having
here.
me, dude.
I really, really appreciate it, dude. It's been a long time. I contacted you months ago.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
to have you sitting here, I appreciate it from
No,
the bottom of my
pleasure to
heart.
sit here with you,
I
dude.
intend having many more here with you because your conversation is completely enthralling. I love it. I think you're a very creative
I should
being.
have married him.
I think you're very creative. I think you've got the right idea. And thank you so much for coming through today, dude.
Pleasure, dude.
Quickly plug those two shows.
You get an air one.
Quickly
Bluetooth.
plug those two shows.
6th of December at Mercury, 7th of December at the reopening of Volmer fucking Bush Lounge, Human Nebula, Son of Hawk, Riddle Break, Deadline, Peasant, Raksha, fucking Zom.
Jesus.
That's it.
No Atlantic Star.
Rough.
But anyway,
Next time.
but this has been an amazing podcast. Thank you so much. One of my best. Granny J, thank you so much for joining me, bro. Adriano Rodriguez from Infanteria, Zombies Ate My Girlfriend. This is Papa Jesus. Until then, we say peace.
Peace.
I don't wanna go anywhere else. I wanna go to Papa Jesus.
Yeah, that's where we're going.